Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sissy Jones, Delilah from Firewatch, and you're listening to The Gaming Outsider.
What's happening, Gaming Outsiders? Scott Clark here. I couldn't be here this week because I eat dinner at 4 p.m. and I sleep by 7. I'm ancient, there's no doubt. On this week's episode, Zack, Alyssa, and CB joined together to answer video game-related questions from their community. In news, Microsoft announced a new controller made out of recycled material. That's fancy technology. How did they do that? And Star Wars Jedi Survivor is looking bigger and bigger. Alyssa played another FMV game called Murderous Muses, and I swing in to talk with Zack and Sean Coates to share our thoughts on the Mario Brothers movie and talk about a brand new fangled gaming chair from a company called Ewin. This is the Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to the Gaming Outsider, a podcast with a focus on our incredible community. Today is Sunday, April 9th. I am your host, Zack Parkinson. Joining me today are my friends Alyssa White.
Oh, I'm first!
Yeah. I mean, even alphabetically, right? I mean, you got the A,
true.
so...
But not the last name. The last name always got... School sucked with the last name.
White? Oh, yeah, because you're dead last.
I'm near the end of the alphabet, so... I'm first!
Yeah, first. Famous internet exclamation. CB, you're also here. This is Chris Behrensmeyer. CB, How you doing?
I mean, apparently I'm just rounding out the Alyssa sandwich.
Oh, I don't mind the sandwich.
Oh my God. Starting R-rated. Scott Clark goes to one Easter dinner and everything falls apart.
Yep.
It always falls apart without Scott.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when the old man's not here.
Well, he has dinner at 4:30.
He told me that. I'm like, really? You're going to have dinner at 4? Like,
I know.
Do you go to bed at 7?
He uses the in-law defense, but I think we all know he's really just ancient. He's turning to dust before our very eyes.
It's all them gray hairs now.
I don't even know how he survived going to the Midwest Gaming Classic with you.
Oh, he was tired. He was tired afterwards.
He's a tired little boy.
He was.
How was it up there?
It was a good day. I mean, it was busy.
I heard tickets went up.
Yeah, they were not cheap. It was like $65 a day.
Yikes.
But man, this year they went all out. They had all 3 floors of the convention center with stuff going on, and we only visited 1 floor.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Well, I mean, that's the floor I care about.
Is that where all the retro games are?
Oh, that's where all the sales are. Because like one floor was like all gaming tournaments, another one was board games and card games, and I'm like, those are cool, but that's not what I'm here for.
That's not what catches the eye of Chris Behrensmeyer.
No. Spent some money, bought some games.
Did you snag anything? Do you have a complete NES library, right?
Yes, I do.
So what are you collecting now?
The 13 complete libraries I have.
Oh my God.
13.
Well, what is your... I know. What is your current objective?
Currently working towards finishing Sega Master System and Super Nintendo.
Okay.
So I am...
Are you close?
I am 16 away from finishing Sega Master System.
Oh my God.
And I am officially less than 100 for Super Nintendo, which is a lot.
That's great. Yeah, those Super Nintendo games, I assume, are cranking up the price every day.
They're getting higher, but luckily there's only one left that is going to be a nightmare to get my hands on. Which
one is that?
Aero Fighters. It's like 700 plus.
Ooh.
Is it fun?
I've never played it.
It doesn't matter. I need it on the shelf.
But no, I mean, I've already got like Hagane, which is stupidly expensive. But I didn't spend that much for it, luckily.
All right. Cool. I mean, do you meet anybody exciting at the MGC?
I mean, I saw John Riggs again, John Hancock. So they were there again.
John Hancock?
Yeah.
Signer of the Declaration of Independence?
Wrong John Hancock.
He's still
John Hancock.
Oh my God.
John Riggs is my buddy.
Oh yeah, I talked to John. It was funny because Scott was like standing right next to him again. And I'm like, hey John. He's like, hey Chris. And just walks by and Scott's like, who's that? And I'm like, that's John Riggs. Scott's like, who's that? I'm like, oh, Scott, you have so much to learn.
For those unfamiliar, who is John Riggs? Who is Alyssa's buddy?
He has done quite a bit of YouTube
Mm-hmm.
stuff on retro games.
Okay.
He's kind of one of the bigger ones. So you have John Riggs, John Hancock, Metal Jesus.
I've met Metal Jesus before. He's cool.
Oh yeah, I have his signed Metal Militia coin. He was actually there last year, so he's a tall guy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, he looks tall.
I have a picture with him, and I need to dig that up to see the disparity because I remember he's super tall.
He's like 6'6".
Yeah, I know, and I'm 5'5", so imagine that picture.
It's over an entire foot.
You say I don't know how you get it in one frame.
I know. That's why I was so low always with the webcam before, because I'm short.
Yeah.
She's like, hi guys, I'm down here.
Hey, I mean, feel free to tilt it down, Alyssa. That's okay.
It's already tilted down.
Yeah. So you had a good time then, CB, huh?
Yeah.
Did old man Scott have a good time too?
Yeah. He got super excited. He bought some NES games. He's getting close to finishing his now too.
I think he told us he was at 14 left.
Yeah, I think he's like right around that point.
If I got that wrong, Scott, I'm so sorry.
Oh, believe me, I made Scott upset that day.
What did you steal from him?
Scott, oh no, it's not so much that. He's just like, I'm gonna only spend this much. And every time you walk by something, I'm like, hey, aren't you missing that too? Somebody made multiple trips to an ATM that day.
Surprised the ATM could dispense so much money at once.
I'm actually surprised by it too, because there's only like one ATM in that building, and people were hitting that thing like it was going out of style.
Dude, I bet.
So, but yeah, after a couple years ago, he watched me spend a ton of money that day. Yeah, I watched him do it. So it was a good day. I pissed a lot of vendors off because all the money I brought was in $2 bills.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about doing the $2 bill thing.
Yeah, what a dick!
When you bring like $900 in $2 bills,
gotta do more math.
Oh, it's funny because you watch these people like, oh, that'll be $200, and I'm like, here's 2 bands of $200 bills, and they're like, we'll count it, and I'm like, it's banded, it's from the bank, you can count it. I'm not doing that.
Well, it sounds like you wasted a lot of money, but you know what, listener? You don't have to waste any money with our April game giveaway. So Star Wars Jedi Survivor. You can pick your platform. There's going to be a link in the show notes. It'll have all the data there. You do need to, there's going to be a question that has to do with the show on the form to make sure you actually listen.
Yes.
But if you're a listener, no worries.
It should be a very easy question.
One would presume. I always forget what the question is, but I'm sure it's easy.
It relates to a word we say a lot.
Boobs? Is it boobs?
No.
Okay. I was making sure.
Probably Scott Clark, because I mean, it's Scott Clark and the Outsider.
No, it's something. Well, I can't say.
Yeah, you can don't give it away. All right, but yeah, the link in show notes there if you want to try to get a copy of that. A new trailer dropped. It looking pretty good. But you could also keep in mind R2V2 Rock River Valley Video Game Convention. It's coming back this year, October 14th, 2023. I believe we're still finalizing some details, CB. I know we're measuring things and whatnot.
I did that. I was at the convention hall yesterday measuring things out, seeing how many vendors and things we can get going on.
Yeah. Who measures better, you or Scott?
Me, bar none. I did break Scott's tape measure, though, so I made him mad with that.
Wow. Yeah, that's some real manly energy. But Sissy Jones, BAFTA award-winning actress, will be there, as well as John St. John. Duke Nukem himself. Maybe he and I can have a Duke Nukem off. Wouldn't that be fun?
I will.
Your
pay to see
voice
that.
is impeccable.
Well,
so
thank you.
Hear you too.
Maybe we could do some kind of Duke Nukem and Sun riff, for our intro. That'd be interesting. But we're here to talk about video games, presumably. So let's actually talk about some. I see here we've all been playing Resident Evil 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
We may as well start with that. Now, Alyssa, we've heard from you before about this game. CB, I think this is your first time getting to talk about it.
It is.
How are you enjoying the Reformake?
Reformake.
It's okay.
Okay, that's a weirdly hot take.
Yeah, the gameplay is is fun. The shooting is fun. There's just things about it that I'm not digging.
Is it because you can't look up Ashley's skirt anymore?
No. No, like the faces are off-putting to me.
Faces.
They seem off.
Interesting. Leon's lips looked off to me when I was playing, which I know is a very specific thing, but I could never figure out is that just the face model just looks that way? Or...
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but the faces look off. And after playing like the Resident Evil 2 and the Resident Evil 3 remake, the cinematic cutscenes in this one don't seem as high quality to me. I feel like a little bit of a step down.
I actually am inclined to agree with you. I feel like I think overall the technical fidelity is lower than Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah,
like just overall graphics, which is, I guess, strange. Although you are going through a lot more environments, so maybe they just had to pour their resources elsewhere, perhaps.
Maybe,
I don't know.
After recently, because recently I played part of 2 again, and 2 was so clean and crisp. Like even the gameplay, and this one I'm like, there's times where I'm like, it feels you move like you're sluggish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm still having fun.
I had to get used to that when I first.
Yeah, Leon has a very specific weight to him in this game. You're absolutely right about that, but I did find myself getting used to it.
Yeah.
Having fun with the guns though. I mean, that shotgun.
How far into it are you? Can't speak.
I've rescued Ashley. So I've made it past, like, you rescue Ashley, you're out of the church.
Okay.
Back through the town. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. So is that maybe halfway-ish, probably?
Yeah, I think it's about halfway.
Or something like that. Have you gotten to the castle yet? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think halfway is fair. Well, I'm sorry you're not digging it like I did, man. I freaking love the gunplay and the dumb story and all of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's Resident Evil. Overall, the story is a little unbelievable, but...
Well, yeah, of course. I'm not going to Resident Evil for, like, genuine art. I'm going for a real dumb story.
Yeah.
I'm going for a guy who fights knights in armor and says, nighty-night, knights. That's what I'm there for.
Yeah. I guess I'm just still so disappointed that this wasn't Code Veronica.
Yeah, and I wish that was what they had remade next, but hopefully that'll be up next.
No, because they're going to go straight to like 5 or remake Dead Aim.
Well, my fear is that they'll be like, you know what? Enough time has passed. Let's remake Resident Evil 1.
Actually, you know what? I bet you they'll do 0.
Let's say 0, 1, and 4, and Code Veronica, I would think would be the next most likely ones. But who knows? They could remake 5. I wouldn't remake 5 if I were them, because it was already in trouble in 2008 or whatever about the racism overtones. I can't imagine what the disaster the headlines would be in 2023. Although, granted, I would do nothing but sell them more copies, so maybe it is worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it's Capcom. I'm pretty sure they don't care.
Yeah, well, and also just anytime people get mad about something, it does better than it did before.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Alyssa, how far have you gotten into Resident Evil, Reformake?
Reformake? I'm in chapter 14 of the Reformake. So
it's a lot of 4s happening on the show lately.
I know. So many 4s.
I'm sorry, but you're on chapter 14.
Yeah, I don't know how close I am to the end of the chapter, because CBZ, you've already played 4, right? I'm the only one that never had... I'm on the lift, or I just got off the lift, and the stuff that happens after that, and then that's where I stop. So I don't know how far I have until 15.
You're definitely pretty close to the end of the game.
Okay, yeah. So
I think there's
16 chapters, so yeah.
Right. Are you still digging it?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Me too.
Besides, Ashley, just like every 2 steps, she's like, I'm like, we took 2 steps.
So weird. I mean, Leon like moans and grunts a lot too. I'm like, will you guys just shut up already?
I'll make him run for like up a staircase, and he's like, I'm like,
dude, how did you pass the training to be
in shape?
Yeah, you're supposed to be a president's secret agent and tell me you can't jog?
It's just how he rolls, man.
He's really. I'm just saying.
If you were carrying like a shotgun, a rifle, 2 handguns, and all this other stuff, you'd get a little tired too.
He's got it all in a convenient briefcase that we never see.
I have no idea why they chose an attaché.
Yeah,
where does he put the attaché?
Prison wallet.
Well, then also like the dimensions or whatever. That attaché case is bigger than he is.
Yeah.
Presumably, but I guess it's in some kind of pocket dimension. It's just umbrella technology we don't understand.
Okay.
This is their next big move.
Give me back the Redfields. I love Leon, but he's no Chris.
Leon Scott Kennedy's my guy.
He's no Chris Redfield.
No, I mean, I like Claire a lot.
Barry.
I like Claire Redfield more than I do Chris. Barry would be cool. He's great.
Yeah.
Barry Burton.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have played it, but I played the Mercenaries mode that they just put out for free.
I haven't played
and
it
it's
yet.
a lot of fun. I mean, it's just the arcade kind of shooty mode. There's only 3 levels, which seems surprisingly few. I don't remember how it is in the original Resident Evil 4, but the original 5 Mercenaries had a ton of levels. But the point is, it's super fun. You know, there's little power-ups around the maps and time extenders, and if you get a headshot, you get an extra 2 seconds, so you can go for your high score by extending the clock. But each character, there's 4 characters right now, and they each have a special ability. And you know, Leon's is just like the bullets have extra firepower, or Hunk has unlimited ammo when he goes into mayhem mode. It's called, but you could play as Krauser in this mode, and his mayhem mode, he just turns into like his boss fight monster form, and you just tear these zombies up, man. It's a ton of fun.
Is there tofu?
Not yet, not that I know of.
Because if there's no tofu, I don't care.
There's currently no tofu. Hunk is in it, though.
I know Hunk's in it, but I need tofu.
All right, understood.
I mean, come on. It's not Resident Evil like mercenary mode without tofu.
I think you might be right.
I was going to say, one thing I'm missing with this game is whenever the title screen comes up, I keep expecting the guy to say, the Resident Evil. Like, I can't do the voice. But that specific...
Yeah, it's devastating. Why is that
I know.
not there?
I'm like, there's no sound. Why? I just want to hear the guy say it.
I get blue balls every time.
Off?
I think just for the remakes, right? Or maybe Resident Evil 7?
No, because I know
I thought I heard it in...
the 2 remake and the 3 remake definitely had that.
I was going to say, I thought I heard it in those.
It was in the original RE4 for sure.
Do they not want to pay him for this one?
I'm pretty sure it's been in everyone. I can't remember if it was, because I'm pretty sure it was in 7. I don't know if it was in 8.
I can't remember if it was in 8. No.
Too many. I feel like
7 took itself. I feel like 7 took itself too seriously for that, but maybe I'm wrong. Either way, it's sad that it's not here.
I know.
Yeah.
The CB, you've also been playing Green Hell?
Yeah.
It's a survival game, right?
Yeah, it's the game that I've unfortunately bought twice, and I'm just now finally getting around to playing it. Because I bought it on Xbox. I remember going through the opening cutscene and having to leave, and then I bought it on Switch, and I'm like, I already own this. Why am I an idiot? But it does not look good on Switch. It looks terrible.
That's not too surprising.
And I'm like, why do I keep wanting to buy these high fidelity games on Switch? And
because it's portable.
So is the Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I have this wonderful phone that I can link up. And I'm like, I keep buying games on Switch, but it's a survival game. Like, you're in a forest, but do you remember in Fallout New Vegas where there was that hardcore mode where everything had weight and you had to eat, sleep, and drink?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I think even the bullets had weight, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a survival game where you have to eat, sleep, drink, and there are predators. So you could be like, I'm building my shack, and a jaguar just comes out of nowhere and eats you.
Oh. Because there's also weird monster men too, right?
Yeah. Because it takes place in the rainforest in South America. And you're trying to make contact with a lost tribe. And it's a bizarre game, but I love survival game. Like, do you ever play 7 Days to Die?
No. I remember
not.
Famous because Telltale published it, which was so weird.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
I learned something new today.
There you go.
My save file, I'm still like over 200 days survived in that game.
Wow.
So
it's way more than 7.
Yep.
Yep.
But I love survival games where like you build your base and kind of just keep branching out. But I don't think I'm going to continue playing this one on Switch.
Just because it's so miserable in terms of fidelity?
I don't care about graphics that much, but when there is constant screen tear, it's just it's so distracting.
Yeah, screen tear is terrible.
Like between the screen tear and like watching like the leaves on trees just like merge together in a giant green blob. Like, this looks awful.
Yeah, that sucks to hear.
Yeah. So
I guess they just put it on Switch because they know it'll sell, huh?
Yeah, I don't get it. But it really worries me, like, when people talk like, oh, well, this big, like, massive game is coming to Switch. And I'm like, wow, don't buy it because it's probably not going to run.
Right, like Hogwarts Legacy is coming to Switch later this year.
Oh, that's going to be a nightmare. Can you imagine if you put even a game like Sunset Overdrive?
Well, I mean, I don't know how they got Witcher 3 on Switch, you know?
Or I guess Skyrim?
Yeah. I mean, it was like the Witcher almost looks like an N64 game, I swear. So the characters look so weird.
Yeah, I don't get it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, like, streaming, like, you know, you can play Control, you can stream it, I guess. It's an imperfect solution, but it is a solution. But, yeah, I don't know. I hope they actually try to get Hogwarts Legacy running on that thing. I think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, only time will tell on that one.
That sucks, man. Well, as for me, I hit the 100-hour mark in Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a lot of game that I've played since January. Can't stop playing it. I know I'm on what I've heard is the last mission called Our Best Selves, but I'm having a hard time saying goodbye to Arthur Morgan and the Vanderlyn gang and everyone.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you spend so much time with them. Yeah. But so I thought, let me play something else to distract myself to try to put off finishing this. And I was looking around. I was booting up Xbox Series S, you know, finally take advantage of this bad boy. Looking around at Game Pass, you know, seeing what they had. So finally I decided it's time to replay Red Dead Redemption 1.
Oh.
You know, state-of-the-art video game. And it's very good.
Oh, yeah. I know you love Red Dead Redemption 2, but...
Yeah, I'm all turned around now.
1 is the superior game. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, I can no longer agree, but 1 is so exceedingly excellent.
But you're so wrong, because 1 is so much better.
But I can't brush my horse.
I don't care. Yeah. You are John Marston.
Yeah, he's great. Love him. He's so excellent in the first game. He has so many great lines. Like, you and Wes Dickens are so crooked you can swallow nails and spit out corkscrews. That's good. That's good stuff.
It is.
See, I think it's just the fact that you spent 100 hours with
still
Arthur. That you forgot that John is the better.
I still like John more, to be clear. John Marston's the guy.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, there's no question.
Plus the end of Red Dead Redemption 1.
Yeah,
that is a cinematic masterpiece right there.
So I've mostly just been going straight from story mission to story mission. So I had no idea that if you did that, you can get all the way to the end where you're, after you get back to your family, I guess, to try to keep it spoiler light, in like 10 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm already almost done with the game.
But it's all the side stuff in that game that
distracts you.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna go fishing for like the next year.
Right, or talk to that Satan guy.
Or I'm just gonna ride my horse because it's very calming to me.
Or go online and throw dynamite in other people's horse carriages.
Whoa. That's sadistic.
Yeah. Did you find Man Bear Pig yet?
Oh, I did when I played.
Yeah, I mean, I really am I'm just barreling through the story, which of course is excellent. But you know what's weird is the Xbox Series S version. At least I can't speak to any other. I mean, it looks phenomenal, but it's really buggy.
Really,
like you can just see horses fall through the earth and stuff. It's kind of shocking, like way more than it used to be.
To be fair, I remember that happening a lot on the 360. You just watch somebody walking down the street and the horse just.
Oh, yeah.
And I think maybe like there's some kind of draw distance difference with the better engine, the backwards compatibility upgrades they do, because you could just see people spawning in all the time.
Yeah.
Which never.
I remember that.
Okay, maybe it did happen. I mean, yeah, but anyway, it's great, phenomenal. I'm sorry, I do have to say Red Dead 2 is a superior story and world.
All lies.
And I can name my horse, which is
That's
great.
That's true.
Did you name your horse Roach?
No, I named it Casca. I name all my video game horses Casca.
After Berserk? Or
Berserk, yeah. Because much like Casca, my horse is a potato.
As for all the anime lovers out there and manga readers.
All the manga meme enjoyers. But that's enough about what we've been playing. Why don't we talk about the news, huh, guys?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Couple new trailers. The Explorator? Is that how you would say it?
Explorator? I don't know, actually.
Yes, the Explorator. Yes, of course.
It just sounds fancier if you say Explorator.
Bloody hell. That's coming to Xbox and PC later this year. We got a final gameplay trailer for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is, of course, coming April 28th. Microsoft announced a new recycled controller. The material is made out of recycled material, which is pretty cool. Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection has a release date as well as a few updates. And Star Wars Jedi Survivor takes in an astronomical amount of hard drive space. And surprise, surprise, guys, Resident Evil 4 is selling pretty well.
Such a shocker.
Yes, and no doubt. CB, since you've been away a while, is there any news story here that's caught your ear?
I mean, it's a fairly weird week for news, I guess. So
I feel like things are quiet before the summer heats back up.
Yes. So I want to talk about this controller.
Oh.
Shocker out of left field. Something I can collect.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh yes. And it's Xbox as well. Say it ain't so, CB.
So a new wireless controller, the Remix Special Edition. 1/3 of this controller is made from reground and reclaimed materials. This is where it gets kind of funny, because this includes automotive headlight covers, plastic water jugs, CDs. It has its own unique color pattern, a swirled earth tone colors. And apparently no two controllers are the same.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
I'm just surprised that Microsoft didn't say, like, oh, look, it's a physical NFT. Because no two are the same. Haha.
That's a dirty word.
I know. I don't like it either. But I'm surprised they didn't try to market it that way. Comes out on April 18th for Earth Day, and it's $85.
Yeah, although it does come with a rechargeable battery. So that's something, I guess. But controllers are just, I mean, a PS5 controller, $75 now?
Yeah.
These things are out of control.
They're getting pricey.
Yeah, but it's made from recycled material. It should be cheaper.
Well, I assume that the processes aren't in place to use recycled material effectively, thus necessitating an increased cost.
Yes, but I kind of want to get one, but at the same time, I don't.
I feel like you're almost definitely going to get one.
Maybe on the secondhand market.
Yeah.
I think Microsoft missed an opportunity with this, though, to just play the petty spaghetti game. And just be like, hey, we made this brand new controller out of recycled plastic, made entirely from recycled PlayStation 2s.
That'd be awesome. Oh man.
So cool.
Like, but just melt them down enough that like you could still make out like a swirled out triangle, square, circle, and X.
Right. There's like a piece. There's like a ridge piece there. Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
You know how funny that would have been? And I'm like, you guys dropped the ball.
It would have been the ultimate FU.
It really would have. Like,
and if Sony got mad about it, then they would be the bad guy because you guys hate recycling.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
Yeah.
I feel that Microsoft just dropped the ball. I'm like, you guys really could have just stuck the screws to them and just been like, hey, guess what we did? It's the and see, that's like where they could really make fun of like even the like Wish.com knockoffs. It's the Xbox Polystation controller.
Right.
The Polystation.
Xbox is too dedicated to the idea that they're the good guys right now, but that would have been so awesome.
It would have been.
See, I'm glad you're on board with this because
it would have been cool, man.
It would have been real funny.
You know what's funny is even though I play everything on PlayStation, I feel like I would have bought the recycled PlayStation material controller just because of how hilarious it would be.
Yeah.
It would have tempted me.
And every PlayStation collector out there would be like, well, I have to buy it because it's made for PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then Microsoft wins.
Can't let those PS2s go to waste.
I know. I mean, there's clearly a ton of them out there that aren't doing anything. So
best-selling console ever, right? There's got to be some doing nothing.
Yeah. Take those and all those PS3 fats that died.
Yeah. Oh, a sad death. Alyssa, you think you're going to buy this thing for 85 smackers?
No. No.
Would you
not even for
would you have bought it for $85 if it was made from recycled PlayStation 2s?
Possibly.
See?
Yeah, odds go up. I mean, regardless, I think CB's going to buy this. He's going to have to.
I feel like it's going to happen, CB.
I've actually missed out on some of the Xbox like exclusive controllers. I only own 2.
Really? Which ones?
The Forza one and the Anniversary one.
Oh, the Titanfall controller looks slick back in the day.
Oh, I guess I did buy the that remade Duke controller.
Oh yeah, sure.
Just because it had the LED in the jewel,
and you got big old mitts.
I loved the Duke.
Yeah, well that makes sense. Yeah, big hands.
It was a comfortable controller.
I'm sure.
So,
Alyssa, is there any news story here catching your eyes and ears?
Well, Star Wars Jedi Survivor is going to be a hefty boy on PC.
So unnecessary.
It's going to require 155 gigabytes of space, and compared to Red Dead Redemption 2, that's 5 gigabytes more because Red Dead Redemption 2 required 150 gigabytes. The last game in the series, Star Wars Jedi
Fallen Order,
there we go. Zack had to fill me in on that one. Only required 55 gigabytes, and the game launches April 28th.
That's a whole lot of BD1.
That's a lot of chirps.
That's a big boy.
That's a lot of BD1 going, Djibouti. Which is a lot.
Do we know how long this game's going to take to complete?
Well, the more they talk about it, the longer it sounds like it's going to be.
Because I'm really excited.
Because I think they said it's like, because there's like 7 explorable worlds, and they're each kind of their own little mini open world, including Coruscant. They just announced.
CB's face was just everything.
Oh my god! Don't tempt me.
So I feel like this game is stealthily going to be massive.
Like sure. I've been trying to stay as far away from the advertisements for this because I want everything to be fresh and delicious. But if you're telling me that I get to run around Coruscant and just do the things, yeah, this may really compete with Starfield for me then.
Under Games of the Year?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, dude, it looks pretty extraordinary, you know? But I don't know if it looks 150 gigs. It's just so much space.
But that's only on PC.
I know, it feels poorly optimized to me.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious about the console specs, though.
Oh, I guarantee it's going to be like 100 gigs.
Yeah. it leads me back to my tinfoil hat conspiracy that they intentionally make game sizes large so you can install less, so you're more inclined to keep their game installed and playing it.
You're not
That's a
wrong.
good point.
I don't know. Makes me feel crazy when I say that, but I feel like it carries
it's
some
logical.
weight. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to build your tinfoil hat a little more here, keep in mind there are quite a few people that are limited to how much they can download a month. And at 155 gigs, if you're limited to, there's a lot of people that are limited to like 1 terabyte.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than a tenth of everything for the month for you.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a lot less Netflix.
You got to commit if you want to play Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, you're just not watching any shows that much. You're just playing Star Wars.
Remember the good old days when physical media, like you didn't have to download crap?
Yeah, I love it. It was great.
Yeah, I love physical media.
I'm sitting here, can you imagine, like, if this game came on CD?
Oh, how many there would be.
Here's your spindle of CDs to
Right.
It
install.
just made me think of Lost Odyssey being on 4 different discs on the 360.
Right, 4 DVDs. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And this isn't even counting that there'll certainly be a day one patch as well.
Oh, without a doubt. So probably after the day one patch, what, 15 to 20 gigs on top of that? So this is going to be like
Huge.
Verging on 200 gigs.
Man, so if you had this in Red Dead 2, that's probably your whole computer right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, that really worries me for a lot of people that bought like the digital only versions of consoles, like Fallen. So Jedi Survivor on a Series S, like that's gonna chew up almost your entire hard drive.
As a Series S owner, I feel this pain.
I bet you do. You better go out and start buying one of those expandable storage pieces.
Well, I mean, of course, this will be played on PlayStation because I get that platinum.
You're going to play through it twice. Let's be honest.
I'm sure. Yeah. Well, if Cal and Marin kiss, I'll play through it 17 times.
Oh, 17?
Just to see them smooch. Make little kissy faces. Make little Jedi babies. It could be a dream come true.
Then you're going to find out like the only thing he's going to kiss is BD1.
Well, that fulfills a different need. I mean, unless he hooks up with Seer, I'm kind of all in. I could see him hooking up with Grease. That'd be okay. See what that's about.
Wow, that just took a really weird turn. I'm like,
he's a great cook. Who wouldn't want to lock that down?
Wow. I still want to know, like, that's why I said I haven't watched any of the stuff. So I'm like, I still want to know who's in the biomed chamber and
right. Real High Republic vibes from that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say any more, of course, but this latest trailer had a bunch of Marin in it, so pretty exciting, guys. And Cal is just murdering dudes in a really kind of messed up way.
Yeah, it really started to feel some Dark Jedi vibes.
Those 5 years were rough. Cal ain't playing.
But that beard.
Hey, do you see? Oh, yeah. I guess you haven't been watching, dude. There's an insane amount of customization options in this game.
Oh, I know. Believe me. I've seen some of the TikTok videos.
You can make Cal look like a redneck trucker if you wanted.
Oh, just like a regular person in Alabama. If you're from Alabama, just forgive me for what I just said. Well, you know it's funny.
They say you're a native, right? I mean,
yes, I am a native.
Well, briefly, I want to touch on the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection. Finally has a release date for consoles. It's coming to Switch and PS4 on April 19th. We kind of assumed it was coming soon because people have been getting charged at the Square Enix store. Includes Final Fantasies 1 through 6. And you can buy it for a bundle, $75. Or I believe the first 2 are $11.99 and then the last 4 are $17.99 each. So I think you save about $20-ish overall if you buy the bundle. Each game comes with a rearranged soundtrack, but you can also switch back to the original if you want. They also added, you can pick your font. They have a new one that looks a little closer to the originals, or they have the horrible font from the Steam release. Your choice. But neither way do you get the original font, which is a little frustrating. but you can have all these kind of cheats that you've been able to have in the like 7, 8, 9 re-releases where you can speed things up and turn off random encounters. You can give yourself, extra experience and gil and stuff. You can make the games easier that way. And then the PS4 version comes with themes and avatars. There's a whole lot of Final Fantasy coming on April 19th. Alyssa, you're a weeb? Are any of these games? Are you gonna pick up any of these remasters, or are you a fan of these original games?
I've never played any of them, so I would love to play them at some point. I probably won't pick them up immediately, but maybe in the future, because I would love to actually play them through and see, because they do have cultural significance. So,
yeah, certainly, especially I feel like 4 and 6 are pretty highly revered. Yeah. Well, CB, are you gonna pick these up?
Yeah.
Are you gonna buy the physical cartridge for your Nintendo Switch?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I mean, to be fair, this was the Final Fantasy I grew up on. Not
right.
Like 7 I was well into my teenage years.
None of this modern pretty boy Final Fantasy crap, you know what I mean?
It's all about the OG SNES and
right.
NES and SNES. Like just love them. The lovely blue box with the text scroll.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the blue boxes are iconic. There's no question.
So
it's weird they mess up the font.
Yeah. It'll be. I don't know if I want to sit here and just go 1 through 6 because
dude, I can't even imagine replaying 1 or 2
because that's gonna take a while. I mean, to be fair, I did just replay 1, but the Final Fantasy Renaissance one that Brandon made.
Oh yeah, okay. That's the way to play it.
So yeah, that is the superior way to play it. But I mean, it's still the OG, man.
Right. You're right. Yeah, use was it FinalFantasyRenaissance.com for his?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's fun.
I think he just put out a bunch of updates actually.
Yeah, he did. It's still here on my laptop in front of me.
Right. So that's the way to play.
Yeah.
If you can. And it's not $17.99.
Yeah, you're right. So
right, I guess $11.99 for the first one. But anyway, yeah, no, I think it's cool they're doing this. Yay for some kind of game preservation. But $75 is a lot to ask up top.
Yeah, especially when it's exclusive to 2 of the 3 consoles.
Yeah, it's starting to look awfully suspicious, Square Enix's avoidance of the Xbox, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like there might be some kind of reason in the background. But maybe they're waiting for other deals to finalize before they make theirs. I'm just throwing these ideas out there.
Yeah. I just feel like I'm going to take a shot at PlayStation on even social media every time I see, exclusive to the... Shut up.
Right. And they're basically bought their way to Final Fantasy exclusivity.
Trying to buy their way to oh god, what I just read it this morning and I just drew a blank. Oh, Grand Theft Auto.
Sorry. Oh yeah?
Yeah, they're trying to buy some things.
Well, that'll never happen. There's way too much money for Take-Two to make not doing that. Unless it's a hostile takeover.
That could very well be a thing. Yeah. So,
well, it seems like it's mostly the news. I mean, Resident Evil 4 selling fine. Who knew? Who knew it would sell well, huh?
Yeah.
What are the odds? CB, would you mind taking us through a little bit of this housekeeping here?
Yeah. So we are an independently funded podcast, which means we have to pay for our podcast hosting services, website, all on our own, which is why we have a Patreon page where fans can contribute money to help offset the costs of production, as well as give back to the community. If you'd like to help out, you can do so at patreon.com/thegocast. No new Patreons right now, but at the $3 level, you can get some bonus episodes. Alyssa, what do we have coming?
Well, right now, if you pay at the $5 level, you can listen to the Peace of Mind episode, the very first episode of that series, potentially, that has me, Zack, and Scott in it, and that is completely R-rated, so don't listen to it at work. But
damn near NC-17, really.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, don't listen to that at work. Be careful, but that's at the $5 tier. But upcoming episodes, we have Desert Island Games with Sean Coates, And there's the trade-off episode, Grandia 2 and Robotrek, that is Scott and Kevin, right?
Yep.
So,
Correct.
Hear them talk about the respective games they're playing.
Very nice.
Cool. And again, that's patreon.com/thegocast. Please help us.
We need it.
Right. Well, let's get into the games the newer games we've been playing. All right, coming up this week, video games are coming out again, guys. We had a few slow weeks, but it's back up. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection comes to PS4, Switch, and PC April 14th. Disney gets into the kart racing game with Disney Speedstorm on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC April 18th. Music game God of Rock, which has excellent composition by hosts of Questmarker's Marina, comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC April 18th. Minecraft Legends, which I'm still kind of confused what it is, but that comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC April 18th. Puzzle Quest 3 jumps off of mobile devices and PC and onto consoles with PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, and Xbox One releases April 18th. Mage Seeker, the latest of the League of Legends stories, comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC April 18th. This is a fun-looking stealth game. Secret Agent Cold War Espionage comes to Xbox Series consoles and Xbox One April 19th. As discussed earlier, Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection comes to PS4 and Switch, not Xbox, April 19th. Horizon Forbidden West gets its big Burning Shores expansion on PS5 only, not PS4. Comes April 19th. This one I'm excited about. Baristas and Monsters combined for Coffee Talk Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC April 20th. Action game Stray Blade comes to PS5 and Xbox Series consoles as well as PC on April 20th. And then Super Meat Boy Forever finally jumps onto mobile with an iOS and Android release April 20th. Alyssa, what is exciting you from this list?
There are two. First up is Horizon Forbidden West's Burning Shores DLC, because I love that game. Definitely want to play the DLC. But secondly, this should come as no surprise, because this is my type of game. Coffee Talk 2. I love the first one. I need to play the second one.
Me too.
I know.
Love the first one.
I appreciate that you appreciated it as well.
Reviewed it for the site even. CB, what's exciting you?
Well, I mean, I'm probably gonna play Horizon Forbidden West because I need a more satisfying ending.
Why do you sound so beat down about it?
Yeah, you sound a little.
Because I'm still so disheartened by that ending that I'm like, please fix this.
Mm.
So,
well, it does require you to finish the game first, so I guess it might alleviate your problems.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that, but beyond that, it's just catch-up time for me right now because I'm about to be inundated with a large amount of game soon.
Right, well, especially April 28th.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
150 gigs worth, apparently.
Right. Yes, for me, I'm excited about Mega Man Battle Network, just for its preservation aspect. You know, it's important. But yeah, I think it's all about Coffee Talk 2 for me. No Horizon needed for this guy, but coffee talking, I'm into it. As a former barista, you know, it really appeals to me.
I can see that, yeah.
Make some cappuccinos.
I like seeing all the random
PTSD moment from coffee making.
Right.
I like seeing all the random people and monsters and creatures come in.
Yeah, all their vampirism. Did you ever play a phone game called Bar Oasis, Alyssa, back in the day?
I don't think I have.
Kind of a similar game, except you're a bartender. But you're just talking to patrons.
I can still play it.
I think you would like it.
It sounds like something I would like.
Absolutely.
Right. Oh. Well, moving on to games that we have been playing. Alyssa, you've been playing a game called Murderous Muses.
Mm.
And it definitely falls into both of our wheelhouses because it seems to be there's some live action.
There is, but not as much as you'd think coming from this studio. It's still really good, though.
Which studio is this one? Is this Wales?
Deveki.
Okay.
They did Dark Knights with Poe and Monroe, which I reviewed on the site, by the way. If you want to go read that review, it's on there. But Murderous Muses has a few of the same cast members from that game, and I think from their previous game. But this is a hybrid of a puzzle game, murder mystery game, and it's got some FMV elements. Also procedurally generated.
Okay.
So it's very interesting, and it does not hold your hand at all. The story is pretty flimsy at the beginning. You're just playing as a security guard at an art gallery. Your friend has asked you to hang some paintings overnight because there's an art exhibition coming up. But the artist who had painted all these pieces of artwork had been murdered a year before, and one of the six muses of his portrait series is the person that killed him. So you're trying to figure out which one killed him. It's really interesting, but like I said, the game will not hold your hand. It doesn't tell you what to do, where to go. So my first playthrough, I was confused for a lot of it. Puzzles were tricky, but it was also very rewarding when I figured out the puzzles and I started finding the clues and piecing them together, and the FMV segments are really interesting. That's where you get the gist of the story. You learn about the character's relations to the guy that was murdered and their possible motives, and if they kind of correlate with the details of the murder. But you can get it wrong, and this game gives you total freedom. You don't even have to do the puzzles if you don't want to. They help you, but you don't have to do them. You don't even have to do the investigations if you don't want to. You could just skip it.
So you can accidentally auto-murder the innocent subjects?
You can accuse the wrong person, yes.
Hell yeah.
Okay, this just got a little more interesting. Because, I mean, I watched through the trailer, and the one voice is like, yes. I'm like, that got a little irritating.
He doesn't do it that often.
Okay,
I think I heard it once per playthrough. I played it twice.
Okay. Yeah, that is a really weird trailer, by the way, to pitch a game.
It doesn't do it justice, because this is a really unique game, but the trailer does not do it justice.
Well, I mean, I feel that this is the type of game that you would want to keep the story enough under wraps, so there's only so much you can show.
Yeah.
But man, like, so there's like the music, "Take My Blood," and I'm like, oh, okay.
That's the cool thing about this, though. Since it's procedurally generated, the killer is different every time, so the story changes a little bit every time. So different motives, different items.
God, I can't imagine how much random FMV stuff had to be shot for this to be procedurally generated.
They show you a rundown after you finish, like how many clips you've seen so far. I think it's close to 580 something clips.
Okay, so yeah, that's a fair amount.
Yeah.
Oh, there was the live action that I played. I don't know if you played it, but you were discovering what happened to the one actress.
Is that Immortality you're talking about?
Yes.
I haven't played it, but I want to.
Because that had a ton of FMV stuff in it, and to unlock it all, like it's pretty. You have to do some pretty strange things. So, but yeah, this Murderous Muses has definitely been on my radar because I love playing the FMV live action stuff. Mm-hmm. So mixing it with a puzzle element is definitely something different for me.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, the puzzles were challenging for me. I'm not the best puzzle solver, so they might be easier for other people. They're all solvable though. Like, I didn't ever get stuck on one for too long. I did curse a little bit, but I did eventually figure them out, and it's a very rewarding feeling when you finally solve that puzzle and you're like, yes, it was so hard, but I got this key so I can get more clues. It's just, yeah, it's something special.
Is the transition from the live action FMV clips to the regular game a little jarring? Because in the trailer it did make it seem like it was kind of jarring to go from FMV to fairly low poly, like regular gameplay.
It's not jarring at all because the FMV segments play in the portrait frames.
Okay.
So you're still in that low poly environment, but you're looking at the portrait frame and it's playing. So it's basically like watching a TV screen in the game.
Okay. So do I take it you recommend this game?
Oh yeah. I highly recommend it if you're into murder mysteries, if you like the idea of, combining the puzzle aspect with the murder mystery and FMV segments. Definitely. It's unique.
Okay.
Well, it sounds great. I also sat down with old man Scott Clark himself, as well as Sean Coates, to discuss the Super Mario Bros. Movie, eWin Champion Series gaming chair. That's got to be a first for us, right? Reviewing a chair?
I think so.
Yeah.
We did a backpack before.
We're getting there. One by one, we're going to tackle every piece of apparel and accessories there can be. But we also discussed Kung Fury Street Rage Ultimate Edition based on the famous YouTube short film. We'll talk about that.
Oh, I love that short film.
Talk about that right now. Well, as I told you guys, I'm here with Sean Coates and Scott Clark. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
It's gonna be awfully weird for the regular listeners to hear you from the past, Scott, on an episode you can't be on, because I assume you had dinner at 2:00 in the evening.
I'm an old man.
Yeah, and thank God you are an old man, and that's why you have a gaming chair now, because you're ancient and your old bones can't do it anymore. So you had to get spoiled and sit your little bottom in a nice little comfy chair.
I do. It is the brand is eWin. They were kind enough to provide us with a gaming chair. And if you guys know me...
Okay, you're being a little generous with the word us, but continue.
Okay, well, they provided me with a gaming chair. It is, and you guys know me, I am not a big PC gamer. My PC gaming is on a Steam Deck, which does not require me to be at a desk. However, I use my desk to sit here and record podcasts with you each and every week. And this chair that they have given me, which is the Champion Series chair, and it comes in several different colors and designs. The one that they gave me is all black. I don't like a ton of bright colors and everything. I just wanted the black and the black seat, black cushions, black everything. I got to tell you, this chair feels like it was designed for my body. And I know that sounds a little bit hyperbolic. However, before they sent the chair to me, the company asked me for my height and my weight. That is one complaint that I hear from people about gaming chairs, is that it's always a one-size-fits-all thing. And one of their marketing strategies is to make chairs that are designed for people that are of all sizes. So even if you're a bigger fella or lady, they will have a chair that is designed for you. And like I said, gave him my weight, 6'2", 210, and I'm not exaggerating. This thing feels like it was made for me. It's got the little lumbar support thing down here, closer to your butt, which I've never understood the appeal of that until I actually sat in it and used it. It feels like I am supported and forced to sit in a way that is genuinely more comfortable. This thing is fantastic. Are either of you PC gamers, or are you guys console gamers like me?
Console all the way.
Yeah, console all the way. I mean, I do sit on an uncomfortable couch, so a gaming chair sounds nice.
Yeah,
yeah.
I have two lazy boys in my living room that I used to game for console. So
right, I could see myself pulling this thing in front of my TV if I didn't have if I had the room to put a gaming chair in front of my TV and prop up a little, one of my ottomans or something like that. This thing is that comfortable.
Wow.
Really incredibly easy to assemble as well, because as you know, when a game comes in the mail, or when a chair comes in the mail, it's not assembled.
Right.
I was genuinely surprised at how easy it was to put together. The instructions are visual. There's actually no text. It's just completely, there's minimal text, but it's visual.
So it's actually
it's the IKEA approach.
Yeah, it drives me crazy that we don't have text for instructions anymore, but that's just me, I guess.
For this, it makes no. You know what? I take it back. There is some dialogue in between, not dialogue, but there is some text in there to
I have a
to give you
plan.
some instructions, but the way that it flows. I'm used to reading instructions like left to right and then left to right and then left to right.
Right.
This one kind of snakes around, and so you're like kind of following the arrows. Which at first it took me a second to realize that's what was happening because I'm so used to it. But it kind of made sense because you want to follow the picture after the previous step that you did, and the picture being right next to it actually makes a difference. So that's kind of ingenious. Very minimal effort to put this thing together. They supply you with the Allen wrenches that you need to screw in the different pieces. They even provide you with a pair of gloves. I know because in certain parts of the chair where you don't want to get pinched, or you really got to crank that Allen wrench. You want to be good to your hands. They provide you with a little pair of gloves to kind of protect your hands while you're doing it.
That sounds pretty cool.
That's nice of them.
It really is cool. I am in love with this chair. And,
I'm. I like to differentiate the word envious and jealous, right? Because envious means you want to partake in. Jealousy usually means you want to take it from the person. I'm jealous. Right. I'm jealous that you have this chair.
You want to take it away from me?
Yeah, I want to. It's mine. I mean, I guess it wouldn't work for me because I'm not 6'1", and I'm certainly not 210 pounds.
You're bigger than that?
I'm above that. I'm above that number. I imagine. I haven't weighed myself in probably 7 years, but
Gotcha.
I imagine bigger than that.
But seriously, like I said, I got the black design, but there are some incredible designs that I highly recommend you check out. The website is ewinracing.com. Check out the Champion series of chairs. There's another cool one that's black, but it's got like blue piping. There's another one that's got like a real deep red piping. They even have like some bright pink ones if you're into that. You can really pick a design that fits for you, and then a size that fits for you. It's great.
I mean, black and pink always look pretty good together.
But you're talking about the trim color, right? Basically, when you say piping,
trim.
Yeah.
Is piping the wrong word?
I had to double check myself for a second what you meant by that, but yeah.
Sean's the closest thing we have to a car guy.
Yeah, that's true. But here's the best part, guys. Because of the partnership that we've created with eWin Racing, they've actually provided a discount for all listeners of the Gaming Outsider. You can actually get one of these chairs for your own for 20% off the normal cost. So if you go to ewinracing.com and when you check out, use the promo code TGO for the Gaming Outsider. Just enter in TGO. You'll automatically get a 20% discount on your order. And it's not just chairs. They also do gaming desks. So if you're a PC gamer and you want a nice little place to put your PC or your laptop or whatever you're gaming on, I don't have those to physically in front of me to use, but they look really cool. Like I'm genuinely tempted to go pick one up and check it out because the desk that I'm using right now, I literally built myself. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I built my podcast desk.
Are you a wood? You're a wood guy? You like handling wood?
Yeah,
as a hobby, not as a past. Well, I guess
No. This is more born out of necessity because I needed something. Because again, this is inside baseball. My podcasting booth is literally 3 pieces of, what do you call this? Cubicle walls.
Yeah.
That I found at like an estate sale or something, and I needed a desk that fit in here perfectly. So I built this thing by hand.
Wow.
It's got I got 2 levels and it's spindles and I screwed it all together and the legs and braces and everything like that. But I am really, really close to pulling the trigger on one of these desks because they're good and would go great with the gaming chair as well. So yeah, can't talk highly enough about it. This thing is the real deal. And I understand that for some people saying, well, Scott, you've never been a PC gamer. Look, I've been working in business and as a teacher and all this kind of stuff for years. I know what office chairs feel like. The chair I was using before this was actually like a legit, really expensive office chair that my wife brought home from her old employer. And I had been using that for years. And it's a decent chair, but it did not feel like it was made for me. This chair feels like it was designed for me, and all I gave them was my height and weight. Right. So that's cool. Saying something to me. So, yeah, check it out. Just don't forget the promo code TGO.
A resounding recommendation, huh?
Absolutely.
Well, I have to assume another resounding recommendation is going to come from both of you because you've You guys both saw the Mario movie.
I did. I saw it yesterday.
Yes.
You guys participated in the endless brand churn that is the nightmare of modern cinema.
Right. Well, I had to see it because I needed to get the taste of the '93 movie out of my mouth.
Has it been lingering for 30 years?
Kind of, yeah. And actually, I invited my dad to come with me to see this movie because 30 years ago next month, he took a 7-year-old me to see the live-action movie.
Were you disappointed at 7 years old, or did you think it was awesome?
I thought it was awesome at 7 years old because I was, when you're 7 years old, you don't really have a critical mind yet. It was just Mario, big screen, woo,
Right.
No, it's Wahoo.
Wahoo, that's fair enough.
It's just like in the game, Bowser's afraid of germs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he looks like Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
For those that are listening, we did a Patreon episode where we talked about, I think it was just Zack and I, talked about the 93 film. It was originally behind a Patreon paywall. I made it available for everybody this week because of the new movie coming out. And if you want to go check it out, it's on our socials, Facebook, Twitter, Discord. That was a lot of fun to talk about if you want to go back and check that out. Plus, we'll give you a taste of what the Patreon content is about.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is the second chance for Mario in the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume you both went as soon as you could.
Yes.
Sean's wearing a Mario shirt right now. So, Sean, give me your rundown of how excited you were about watching this movie.
I bought this shirt off Amazon specifically to see the movie.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. No, I was looking forward to this because, I was going to see it regardless because I am what I am, gamer and all that. But,
sure.
And then, of course, I was going to take my girlfriend along. And then just as a kind of I won't say an afterthought, just like, oh, yeah, would it be fun if I took my dad along to kind of recreate the scenario of him taking me to see the 93 movie?
Mm-hmm.
And even he liked it.
Nice.
Yeah. And his relationship with Mario is just watching me play it,
There you go. Well, it's kind of, so Mario and his son are connected.
Right, exactly.
That's a really cool thing about this movie is I know that the critics have kind of blasted this. Last time I checked, it was like at a 48% rating on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever.
Yeah.
But Sean's dad, who's not even a big Mario fan and is not a child, still found this movie entertaining.
Right.
Is a huge mark to me. I think that's really cool. And I will say, it is very much a children's movie.
Absolutely.
Like it is. If you've seen the Illumination movies like Despicable Me and Sing and the Minion movies and all that kind of thing, it falls along that style, not only in animation, but also in tone. Although I will say that the pacing of this movie is at a breakneck speed.
Yeah, it's quick.
I mean, there's never a dull moment, which is kind of like what you have to do for kids in order to get them to sit engaged for a 90-minute film. It never slows down. Like from the very get-go, it puts the pedal to the metal and then never stops. I'm not going to go as far as to say that I was exhausted by the end of it, but I actually am looking at it more as a positive. Like there's never. I feel like in most movies today, we're always saying this is a good film, but I feel like it could have been 20 minutes shorter. I feel like this one could have been 20 minutes longer, and I would have still been happy.
Agreed.
So Mario took a page out of Sonic's book and was all about speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Don't tell Kevin that.
Say, I hope that was almost just for Kevin. Feel that. Yeah. So I mean, the elephant in the room, I feel like, is Chris Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
So how is the Pratt?
He was fine. After a while, you forget it's him, and all the talk about
fine is not exactly a resounding, compliment.
It wasn't noticeable. I completely forgot that it was Chris Pratt after a while. And it was just Mario to me.
Okay.
And genuinely, like I don't even know that I would have known it was Chris Pratt if I hadn't have known going in.
Right.
Like it sounds so not Chris Pratt, and he doesn't do it in a way that is so forced that like he's not doing a thick Italian accent. He's not doing the cutesy. He just sounds like a Mario brother.
Yeah.
Like he just sounds one of the brothers.
I feel like you are the only two people I've talked to so far that have nice things to say.
Really?
I mean, I'm not going to say that it was like an outstanding performance. He just did what needed to be done.
Right.
Like it wasn't too much, it wasn't too little. It was just what it needed to be.
And he didn't do the over the top. No, with absolutely no disrespect to Charles Martinet, but when that was announced that he was going to be the voice, everyone, of course, lost their minds, as the internet does, way out of proportion. Everybody that was complaining about Chris Pratt's voice and not having Charlie instead, clearly were too young to remember a time when Mario was voiced by Bob Hoskins and Captain Lou Albano. Scott, you agree with that, right?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
To me, Mario is Bob Hoskins and Captain Lou Albano. He's an Italian-American Brooklynite. So when Charles Martinet, the first time I ever heard his voice, when I first booted up Mario 64 for the first time, and he went, "It's me, Mario," I remember going, "Oh, they changed the voice. That's interesting."
Does he have a cameo, or is it just a total disrespect?
No, he has a cameo as a surprisingly full circle type character. Yeah, apropos character.
All right. Well, no, that's good. Yeah.
And to me, that's like the thing that kind of solidifies it. If they're having him in the film, he has to be okay with it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's not true.
Well, I can't imagine having a full monologue with that voice. Can you imagine?
No.
Yeah. To be or not to be. That is the question. That would be grating after a while.
All right, sounds great.
Oh,
I'm all in.
Oh, thanks. Is that a compliment of my performance just then? Yeah.
I mean, I thought Charles was in the room.
Oh, thank you.
But to answer your question in terms of saying that he was fine doesn't sound like a compliment. I think that's a much higher mark in terms of he sucked. You know what I mean? Like people just wanted to hate on it, and honestly, that performance is not the reason to go see this film. The number one reason to see this film is Jack Black as Bowser.
Yeah, yes. See that was a standout in the trailers.
And that is so much more multiplied when you see this film, because the stuff you see in the trailer was good, but the other stuff is just like, this could not have been more perfect.
Mm-hmm.
There's a musical number, that you would think would be like, what? And I've had this song in my head for the past 2 days, like for the past day and a half or whatever, since I saw it. It is.
You don't hire Jack Black and not have him sing something.
Yeah,
that's
made
true.
sense. So that he's so good that they capitalized on the fact that Bowser is actually in love with Peach, to a way that like we've not actually seen in the games. Obviously, he tried to marry her.
Well, he did in the Mario, the Game Boy Advance RPGs. It was pretty overt that he was in love with her.
Was he? I don't remember that. It's very strong.
No, I mean, it's cool that they did that. I was just trying to give the game some credit where it's due.
That's fair. That's fair. It's just very prominent. Like at some time, you almost feel for him. You almost are kind of like, oh, like
dictator
this
kidnapper. You starting to feel for him?
No, because that's an actually interesting point. This is not a Mario rescuing the princess thing.
Yeah,
this is
that
Mario
I appreciated.
rescuing Luigi.
Yeah, I appreciated that it wasn't the damsel in distress.
Yeah,
it's not worth doing that if they would get lambasted on Twitter.
Exactly.
These days, yes.
Do that. Yeah.
Yes. They made the right decision for the day and age that we are living in, and I thought that was good. And also, Charlie Day as Luigi was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like without doing the that he just was like the great brother, and like the brotherly love between the two of them was really good. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Does he collect Mario's mail?
No.
Paper Mario. That's all he did the whole game.
Yeah.
Oh
man, that was Thousand Year Door had some of the best dialogue in a Mario. That was good.
Can we mention the music?
I was just gonna go there.
Okay.
The score is like remixed versions of themes from Mario, and not just the main one, but I mean, you're getting stuff from Galaxy, you're getting stuff from Mario 64,
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. It is all just fantastic, and it's not just the original music; it's respectful remakes of those tracks.
Yeah, you can hear Mario ditties as like motifs throughout the score, but it's not. The guy isn't just orchestrating the original score; he's just kind of sprinkling them in.
Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, there's little sounds from the games that you notice, like just how do you describe it? Like like jumping on a turtle, or the little pop sound it makes when it does that. There's tiny little homages to the games, not just in the sound, but also like in the backdrop. I counted on my viewing, and I need to review it just to see which ones I missed. I counted at least 6 different Nintendo games that were represented in this movie in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
Like just not even Mario related games that were it was just really, really cool. I don't want to ruin it, but there's a specific one that Mario himself is playing that was like, oh, that's really cool.
It appeals to a certain older age. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. This film really does a good job of making a movie that is high pace and energy for the younger audience, but also appeals to those of us that grew up with it and are going to be able to recognize those things and be spotting them. I mean, the logo on their truck, because they're trying to do a plumbing business,
Right.
you know, the logo looks like the Super Mario Brothers. Is it 2 on DS? The one with the coins. It looks like the Super Mario Brothers logo from like the Wii game and the 3DS games.
Mm-hmm.
Only it's their advertisement for plumbing.
They have learned to please video game fans the way that comic book movies learn to please comic book fans by see thing, do clap.
Basically.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, there's Easter eggs galore, like
I
on a level of like Ready Player One level of Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun.
I mean, it sounds fun.
Yeah, you're not going to find a lot of depth in terms of story. It's a very cookie cutter story.
Never really why I played Mario anyway.
Right. The only real issue I had was the way that they shoehorned the kart racing into it. Just seemed kind of like, really? You couldn't come up with a better idea to incorporate kart racing into it? It just felt like the writers said, we got to have the kart racing in there somehow. How are we going to do it? Just put it here.
Yeah.
Nintendo was like, hey, Mario Kart outsells Mario. You got to get the karts in this movie.
Yeah, and even the details on that scene, I don't want to spoil anything, but even that was like, oh my god, they went there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's really good. Just so many nods to, because that's the beautiful thing about the Mario series is there's so many games to reference.
Right.
And they referenced so many of them. Even Jumpman gets a second in this. Like
I would have been more surprised if he wasn't.
And other Nintendo franchises too. There's several Punch-Out references. And...
Got Link in there? Maybe a spoiler.
I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah. Well, I think Sean just did, but yeah, I mean, it obviously sounds like you guys like. I mean, I made the joke about how movies are nothing but brands, which I guess is true. But I mean, I do want to see this movie. It looks fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it really is. And stick after the credits.
Yes.
Dude, I'm getting old man pet peeve about that. I'm going to throw something at you. We no longer have to tell anybody to say after the credits. Everybody knows. Every movie does it now. There's no movie doesn't do it anymore.
The Illumination movies haven't, is why I bring it up. There's never been one for Despicable Me or Sing or any of those. It's just, unless I'm wrong, and maybe I didn't stick around for those.
You might be right, but we as moviegoers are now trained to say after the credits.
You'd be shocked at how many people got up and left.
Yeah,
I think most people don't. I think a lot of people just don't care.
Yeah, we had an usher at my theater go, no, stay.
Yeah,
it's just like any Marvel movie. Half the crowd leaves. I think there's a lot of people who just don't care.
No, this wasn't like this. Was most of the people by the time the after credit scene came, there was like maybe 10 people left in my theater. They all got up and left.
Yeah, no after credit scene is ever going to top Aladdin though. When Robin Williams berates you for still being in the theater.
I don't even remember.
I don't remember that either.
Exactly. See, you guys didn't stick after. You weren't trained to stick after the credits yet.
Yeah.
Well, I was 6.
Bueller thing, wasn't it?
Oh, that too. Yeah, you're right. That was another like go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Robin Williams talks about like avoid the sticky stuff on the floor. Like that. Good stuff. Good. Yeah. So high recommendations for the Mario movie.
Absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't sound. No offense to you guys. I don't think your recommendation matters because this movie is cleaning the hell up.
Oh yeah, it made like 43 million. I think in its first day.
Yeah, I think I text you guys that the fun fact of on Wednesday alone it grossed 26 million on Wednesday. 26 million is the total gross of the 93 film in its entire theater run.
Right, which is a little eerie that it mirrored it. But I think it's almost it's like 370 million or something. It's going to make its first week.
And that's domestic or global?
Global. But that's still
mighty impressive.
Illumination's feeling good.
I've heard people on social media that are saying, I don't normally go to movies, but I had to go see Super Mario Brothers.
Sure.
I mean, it's just such a cultural phenomenon, and thankfully, you can tell that Nintendo had a big part in this. Yeah. They wanted their stuff represented. They wanted that Nintendo seal of quality in this movie.
And Miyamoto is a credited producer. He's listed as a producer.
It's a different era of filmmaking. You know, I feel like they take most licenses seriously these days.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so. I got one other thing to say that's going to surprise you, Zach. Seth Rogen, perfectly cast. I gotta say.
Does he sound? Is he just sounding like Seth Rogen, or is he doing something?
There's moments where he sounds like Seth Rogen, mostly like when Donkey Kong laughs.
Yeah.
But the energy that he brings to Donkey Kong worked way better than I expected.
It fits the character.
I really expected to cringe, and I was pleasantly surprised with what he brought to that.
Does he shoot Mario with a coconut gun that fires and spurts, and if he hits you, it's gonna hurt?
You just have to see the movie.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers movie. Go see it.
Absolutely.
I feel like people that are hearing this episode have already decided if they are, and if they haven't seen it, they're going to this weekend.
I assume everyone is seeing it, yeah. Based on the box office numbers, everyone is seeing it.
Yeah.
But something most people, I would assume, haven't seen, Kung Fury.
Yes.
To the point where, when did this movie come out? Like 10 years ago on YouTube?
2015.
2015. Wow.
This is a movie? I didn't know this was a movie.
Like
it was a short film that was kickstarted. Got a successful Kickstarter. And it's a over-the-top, tongue-in-cheek, balls-to-the-wall throwback to 80s cop movies.
Good old dumb fun.
Yes.
Well, they made a game out of it.
They did.
Years later, apparently.
They actually made it at the time. This is actually a collection that I'm reviewing of all the stuff in one, and it got a new expansion that came out this year, and then it got released as an all-in-one.
So this is the ultimate edition of Kung Fury Street Rage.
Yes.
And it just looks like a beat 'em up to me, like a Double Dragon or
and that's exactly what it is. But there's also that's only one of the expansions. Have you guys ever heard of a game called One Finger Death Punch?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's 3 expansions, or there's 3 portions. There's the main game, there's one expansion, and then there's the second expansion. The original and the first expansion play exactly like One Finger Death Punch. An enemy comes from the right, you hit the right button. Comes from the left, you hit the left button.
Yeah, I played it on my cell phone, I believe.
Yeah, and this was originally a cell phone game, and its origins definitely, you can tell, like, your mobile origins are showing, But the last one, known as A Day at the Beach, where all they're trying to do is just have a day at the beach where they keep getting sidetracked by shenanigans. That expansion is a traditional Streets of Rage style beat 'em up, and all the graphics are 16-bit.
I want to ask you, Sean, because the trailer has this like filter over it to make it look like you're watching it on a tube television from the 80s.
Yeah.
Is that in the game, or is that just for the promo?
No, that's in the game, and actually you can't turn it off. Unlike most other collections of this kind of sort, you can't turn that filter off.
Interesting. I actually kind of respect that.
Yeah, the options are very limited in that regard. It's almost to the point of not even being there.
And there's characters in here, like there's somebody that's got a television for a head. Someone's got a Triceratops for a head.
Yes, that character name is, you were talking about Hacker Man and Triceracop.
Yeah, I haven't watched the show. So
you got to watch whenever you get a moment, Scott. It's only about a half hour long. You got to see this little movie.
I think you would dig it, yeah.
Yeah. And the villain is Adolf Hitler, or as they call him, Kung Fuhrer. Yeah, it's totally balls to the wall ridiculous.
That's outstanding.
And then, of course, there's heavy involvement with David Hasselhoff. He even sings a song, a promo music video for this movie.
And
it's totally great.
And you said he's a playable character in the game, right?
And he's a playable character in the newest expansion, this Day at the Beach thing.
It's amazing.
When you're playing the standard Streets of Rage style portion, every character has you can do button combos and stuff like that, and everybody has a special attack which is perfect for clearing the screen. Kung Fury's is like a ground pound that just blows everybody off the screen. Hacker Man's character, he has guns, like laser guns that he can shoot out, and his special is like a big laser beam that just clears them all. But Hasselhoff's is his main weapon is a microphone stand that he can uses like a bow staff when he's fighting. and his special attack is like a big rainbow thing where he rips his shirt open and starts singing for a couple seconds with his hairy chest and all in 16-bit glory.
They really captured the vibe of Kung Fury.
I've never heard of this. I need to go see this like right now.
Yeah,
you do. Yes,
you gotta stop recording right now and go watch it. We're done here. No.
Right. Well,
this is amazing. How's the game though? Is the game fun?
I will say the traditional beat 'em up expansion is great. It's everything you want it to be. It's very short too. Actually, it's beatable in about an hour.
Music to our ears.
Yep. And it has a great 80s synth soundtrack, just like the movie itself. But the other two modes where it's like one finger death punch, that can get old. That got old for me after a second.
That got old for me on the phone for Kung Fu for the one finger death punch after about 10 minutes. So.
Yeah, so when I thought that was the whole game, I got disappointed. Like, oh god, I just made a huge mistake. This is going to be a 2 out of 10 game or something. But
so make sure you get into the right game.
Yeah, get in the right game. Yeah,
right,
the Day at the Beach expansion is called. That's the traditional style, and it's great. It's good old Streets of Rage, Final Fight, all that, and the 80s era meshes perfectly.
Nice multiplayer.
The Day at the Beach is a two player co-op.
Okay. Nice.
But the other ones are single player, and one of them is just an endless wave.
Gotcha. Sounds like you recommend it.
I do. Yeah. If you have $20 and a Switch, go for it.
Right. It just sounds like you need to know what you're getting into, but
yeah,
like Scott just learned what he's getting into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sold me on the YouTube. I gotta go watch the YouTube thing for real.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Right?
Overall, a good recommendation. Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by to talk about chairs, Kung Fu, and Super Mario Brothers. But
my pleasure, man. Hope
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I hope it's going well. It wouldn't be kind of terrible if it was a disaster, right?
It would be.
Hopefully, it was great in the first half, and it'll be mediocre in the second. Anyway, back to the show. Well, what an amazing review I just had there, huh, guys? Truly extraordinary.
It's Old Man Clark. It's always a good time.
He's just rambling away there. You can join our Facebook group over at facebook.com/group/thegocast. We have some new members over there: Chris Colburn, Skylar Honigford, Marshall Maddox, and Aubrey Lynn. I hear great things happen there. I don't know, because Facebook is the devil.
Yeah, it is. I agree with you. I'm on there, but I don't like it. So good for you.
Well, thank you. We also have a Discord. You can find that link in the show notes as well as on our website, thegamingoutsider.com, of course. And lots of good conversations happen over there. I think sometimes, anyway. Please review us on your podcast app of choice. And if you want to hop over to the actual website, we have a few new written reviews right now. I reviewed Justice League Cosmic Chaos, which is perfectly average. And then Alyssa reviewed the eerie game, The Game of Fortune.
Which we talked about in episode 444. Which we don't actually number these anymore, but...
Right, but it couldn't have been creepier, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and the game came out on 4/4.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like it was all planned. I'm like Jim Carrey in that number 23 movie right now. Maybe remembers that.
I never watched it.
Let's jump into the From the Outside In topic. All right, guys, another month, so we get the old community questions, which is a little sad, right? Because without Scott Clark, of course, here, it's just up to the Gaming Outsider.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure he'll find a way to input his.
Oh,
you think he'll stitch in a little sound clip of him at the end of every conversation we have?
Probably.
That'd be cool.
That would be awesome. But yeah, community questions this week, guys. This is always one of my favorite things to do. Jumping over to Facebook. CB, why don't you start us off?
Ooh, Facebook. So, starting off with Mr. Grant Henry. Video game ending that had the biggest impact on you. My vote goes to Super Mario Bros. 2. I had a full-on childhood existential brainbuster, plus the giant animated pixel art was unmatched at the time. Oh, look at this. Scott Clark has something to say.
Oh, who would have thought it?
Yeah. Scott says, Yes, this was a huge for me. Dare I say that the music during the final credits of the game still gives me emotional tingles to this day. Absolutely loved it. For me, BioShock Infinite, surprise, still stands out to me as the game that left my brain swirling with what just happened. That, coupled with the rendition of May the Circle Be Unbroken playing in the credits, just added to all of that. Super Metroid's ending will also forever resonate with me, especially because of the incredible storytelling without a single line of dialogue. I'm sure Grant will appreciate that one as well. Also, if you haven't played Soma, the ending of the game was rather brilliant as well. I won't spoil it here, but wow, did that one stick with me for quite a while. Man, for me, Alien Isolation.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know the ending of that one, but
I don't either. I'm too scared to play it.
It made me want more. To the point that, like, I'm ravenous. Like, anytime that I hear anything, you should know me by now, Zach. Anytime I hear anything involving anything alien, I start foaming at the mouth.
Yes.
Because
just hoping it's Alien Isolation 2, or just because it's not Alien.
Every time I see, like, they do the trailers at, like, E3 and everything, and I just glimpse a xenomorph, I'm just like, please, more. So yes, unfortunately that has been burned into my brain for quite some time. Yeah, I need more Xeno in my life. Other than that, wow. Red Dead Redemption 1.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. A classic.
Man, that one hit the feels like hard.
Yeah, it's just totally unexpected too.
Oh no, it was completely expected, but I didn't want it to happen. Unexpected.
I was like, ah.
That was definitely one that I saw something like that happening, but it doesn't mean that I wanted it to happen.
Right.
So trying like the close and see if there's any way I can prevent this from happening.
All the reloading.
Yeah.
Well, then I think actually what happens right after where you play as another character and round out the story just really puts the nail in the coffin of it being quite an excellent story. The you playing as the other character and then the actual ending kind of being, it kind of tricks you because it just makes it seem like a side quest at first. That really broke my brain wide open.
Yeah, that does too. And honestly, for you, Alyssa, Immortality. If you want a game that once you find the ending for, just completely sets your mind on fire. Wow.
I mean, I loved her story and really liked Telling Lies, so.
You won't see this coming.
Okay.
At all.
What about you?
I was just going to say, there's literally nothing I can say that will prepare you for this. So.
Okay.
Alyssa, what about you? Any brain-busting finales?
Had a couple. First up is Metal Gear Solid 3, that ending.
Great, yeah. Great choice.
Yeah. Beautiful, heartbreaking, everything. Last of Us, when it first came out, like, obviously we've all of us have played it, seen the ending. If you watch the show, you've seen the ending. At the time, though, I was like, that really happened. Okay. It was great. I loved it.
Right. Not many endings can be that impactful by just using the word okay.
Mm-hmm. It's just so good.
Yeah.
I mean, those are really the ones that really just jumped to my mind, besides Red Dead Redemption, and BioShock Infinite. I did enjoy the ending of it just because it was the way it was for people that haven't played it. Other than that, though, I'd really have to sit and think about more titles.
Fair enough. I mean, for me, I've had plenty of emotional finales, so I was kind of focused on Grant's existential brain busting. So,
okay.
Came to mind was Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Because not only is it sad, but you definitely know something. There's definitely some kind of twist happening as you see what's happening to your character throughout the story, but it just really goes to some places there at the end, and really just kind of blows your brain wide open. Another one that comes to mind is Enslaved Odyssey to the West.
Oh yeah.
When you find out what the headbands are really all about, it's you certainly agree with what Trip does in that moment. I feel like it's just a cool ending, and it leaves you wanting more. Like CB was talking about earlier, you want more of that story, even though we will never ever get it.
No,
I'm just saying.
There's no chance. And then also exploding my brain was the very last line of Alan Wake.
I love that. Love it.
Yeah, that's a real humdinger of a finale. I don't know how they're going to address that in Alan Wake 2. Unless stuff gets apocalyptic. I don't know. Especially with now that it's part of the Control universe. I'm like, how are they going to do this game?
Control.
Control is very good.
Yeah,
it is.
Now, every time somebody mentions that game, I'm like, why am I not playing that again?
Why am I doing anything other than playing Control right now? Yeah.
Oh,
of course.
Dude, I just had another one that just super hot.
Oh yeah.
You want to talk about existential moment? There you go.
That's a good one. Absolutely, that game's great, man.
That is. Can we get a sequel to that?
Almost certainly not. No.
Come on.
I mean, I think they just said everything they needed to say. I think they're good.
Yeah, but
maybe I'm wrong. But Alyssa, would you take the next question for us?
I would. Sean Coates writes, what do you think is the reason behind the turbo function being exclusively incorporated in aftermarket game controllers and not a feature in official controllers?
Ooh.
Well, CB, I feel like you're the expert on this question.
I feel like CB would be best equipped for this.
Well, mostly because people figured out ways. Sean, I'm sure you're well aware of the pencil trick with arcades. So I think that's what it is. We as gamers have found ways to skirt the system.
We're a bunch of no good, filthy cheaters.
I do remember one of the NES advantages that was made officially, the actual controller, did have a turbo function. There's been a few, but they usually come later in the life cycle. So,
why do you think that is?
Extending game life. Basically be like, ooh, look, now that you're playing a score grab game, you can push even higher with the turbo function.
Right.
Just like blast processing. Just fancy words. Yeah.
Sonic. He's a blast processor.
Oh, God.
See, my guess would be like the reason it's usually third-party controllers, I would assume maybe has something to do with the idea of fairness, perhaps.
Yeah.
But
well, it's just like certain types of controllers are banned from competitive play.
Right.
So, I mean...
that's the only real reason I can see, other than maybe they just don't think it's like PlayStation. I could see being like, well, that's not very classy.
Yeah, I could also see like when you were a kid growing up with like retro controllers, like if you had the good like controller with the turbo function and you could just kick the crap out of your brother or your friends. You'd be like, oh, look, sure. I can shoot 5 times faster than you can.
I just don't understand why that's fun.
It's usually not fun unless you're the person with the controller.
Sure.
And then you just get to grief the hell out of the other person.
Right, you can shoot a bunch of grenades off at once in Halo or something like that.
Yeah. Or you could be like people like Scott that just sucks at shmups, so you need to be able to shoot faster to survive.
Right. Well, he's old, man. He can't help it.
Yeah.
His reflexes aren't there.
That's what happens. Those stiff little fingers.
Right. He can't play Ikaruga.
Nope. Well, he can't play Ikaruga because that's a brain problem for him.
Yeah. The dichotomy of black and white.
Binary function doesn't work for him.
Hey, he just doesn't see color. Good for him. Alyssa, I don't know if you have anything to say about turbo buttons.
I really don't. I don't have much expertise in this area.
That's fair. I kind of assumed you didn't.
Do I just have that look?
Yeah, I don't know. You just feel like someone who's going to play the game straight up. You're not a filthy cheater like us men. You see.
Okay.
That's what I think. Hopping over to Discord, is it Jackie-san? Says, as I listen to one right now, what are some of your favorite gaming soundtracks that use licensed tunes? I'm taking GTA Vice City and Tony Hawk Underground as some of my faves. Well, yeah, I mean, any Grand Theft Auto is a pretty good example of this. I mean, San Andreas' soundtrack is absolute banger. But when I think of licensed music in games, I always think of, I think it's Saints Row the Third, where the final boss fight is over to holding out for a hero the whole time, and it just loops. It's awesome. That's so freaking cool. So I'm gonna say Saints Row the Third is a pretty good example. Alyssa, do you have any?
That was actually my answer. I love the soundtrack in that game because that's the game where you and your companion sing that Sublime song together in the car. But also, there was one specific radio station, and the only song I can remember from that station, I loved it, and every time it came on the radio, even if I had arrived at my objection, I had to drive around until the song finished. I could have listened to it, like, on anything else, but it was Lying is the Most Fun a Girl Can Have by Panic at the Disco, and I'm like, I was in love with that song.
Oh.
I'm like, this is the best game ever, because I get to listen to this song over and over again.
That's all it takes, yeah, I understand.
So, yeah, it was Saints Row the Third for me as well.
Okay.
CB?
MVP Baseball 2004.
Oh.
That's a very specific example.
To me, it had one of the best licensed soundtracks. Stereogram, Chronic Future. It was a fun game because I remember sitting with friends and my brother playing the mini games, and when you're at the main screen, if you tapped right on the D-pad, it just cycled the song, and that's one of the few that when I wasn't playing it, because I didn't have a CD player at the time, I just had my GameCube in my room, I would actually put that game on and leave it on the title screen. And it was like my own personal radio, because like all the songs of that were great.
Nice, yeah.
But yeah, the MLB, it was like 2004 and 2005. Just like the soundtracks were great. You could just sit there and listen to them, and it felt like a good radio station. The only one I could compare to is for those that remember, and that's Sirius XM Radio. Channel 54, Funk XL, was a punk radio station that they discontinued. It's my favorite.
Funky.
Yeah. So that's what I got. Moving along. Unless you guys have any more.
No, not that comes to mind. I feel like I do have like a lot of songs that come to mind, like especially The Late Goodbye and Max Payne 2, but that was actually written for the game. So it's not really licensed, even though it was made by an actual band. So I feel like I have a lot of those examples, but
Old Gods of Asgard.
Right, Alan Wake, of course.
That was
that was the same band that did The Late Goodbye. I can't remember their actual name, but they performed as the Old Gods of Asgard in Alan Wake.
Well, wasn't it still Old Gods in Control as well?
I think that's right.
Yeah. I think so.
Because I thought it was Old Gods of Asgard in Control, but they had a different name in Alan Wake.
Oh, I don't remember. I thought they were the Old Gods in Alan Wake, but I don't know. We're not going to figure it out here.
Nope.
Yeah. Just ask to see what Kevin has to say.
Yeah. So Kevin Honigford, Shadow the Hedgehog lover himself.
Right, Mr. Shadow the Hedgehog, Kevin Honigford.
Yeah. He says, I've asked this question once before, but our glorious leader probably didn't think it was worth his time, since he has on numerous occasions said how much his hatred burns for the Sega Genesis. Are there any tropes or environments that turn you off in a game? I always struggle extremely hard to keep interest in any school setting in a game. I want so badly to experience stories like Persona 5, but I can't do it. Really struggled hard to push through the first few hours of FF8-2. That's saying something. Yeah, I do. Anything that looks like Borderlands.
No, so not really a trope, just that art style or that kind of desert setting.
No, just there's something about Borderlands. Every time I try to play it, I don't like it.
I mean, I definitely don't like Borderlands. You don't have to tell me.
No, it's just looking at it.
Oh, okay.
It bothers me. And there's
I love the look of it.
There's other cel-shaded games like that and everything I love. Like any of the Telltale stuff. I would stare at that, but there's something about Borderlands that's just off-putting to me. Even when I played the Telltale Borderlands game, it bothered me.
Right, that game's excellent.
It is. It was a fun one. But as far as environments, anything Barbie?
Barbie?
All right.
Yeah.
Is Barbie an environment?
I don't know. It's just like I just imagine like that setting, like you would imagine like a Barbie style setting. If it's just too cute, I don't want to do it.
Not a fan of cuteness, huh?
No, not in any way, shape, or form. Unless it's my cat, then sometimes yes. But
well, I'll tell you,
he's evil. So,
speaking of evil, sewer levels grind the pacing of any game to a halt for me. I don't know if I necessarily hate them. It's in almost every game, so I just roll my eyes as soon as I see a sewer level. Because game developers just can't help themselves but make a frickin' sewer level. Every JRPG, you end up in the sewers for some reason. Every survival horror game, you know you're going to be trekking through those New York sewers. I think even Resident Evil 2's got a sewer area. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, sewer area with a giant alligator.
Yeah, the sewers are everywhere, constantly in video games. I don't understand what it is about sewers that attracts all game developers to go, I cannot wait to make an hour or two of our game here. It's so strange to me. Xenogears has like a giant freaking maze dungeon in the sewers. I want to pull my hair out. It's no good.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to think of games where you don't wind up in the sewers.
Exactly.
It's very difficult.
Yeah, I think that's the harder thing is like finding games where you don't go into the sewers.
Well, that's why I can't hate them, because then I couldn't play video games. But I do get annoyed, and I just go, here we go.
Even Batman goes in the sewers.
He sure does. Worst part of the game.
Superman went in the sewers.
Ridiculous.
Dumb.
I mean, Parasite Eve, you go to the sewers. Final Fantasy VII, you're in some sewers. You're always in the sewers.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think you go to the sewers in Final Fantasy IX. Maybe you do. Maybe I'm just saying
you probably do.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's my brain protecting my memory.
If it's not the sewers, then it's like maintenance area.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I always gotta, and then they always gotta make some comment about like, oh, it's reeks down here. Like, well, yeah, man, you went to the sewer.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Of course.
Oh, it's all over my clothes.
They said that in Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
They need to make a sewer area. Like, man, it smells like roses in here. That you're not in the sewers.
That would be awesome. Yeah, if you went to the sewers, like something's wrong with this city. This smells delightful. What the hell's going on in this town?
They need to make a game like that where they just reverse all the tropes.
That would be great.
Like you're walking around, oh man, this city smells terrible, but it looks so clean. Then you go to the sewers, like, this is amazing. I want to lick the walls.
Live down here. Yeah. Oh, you could drink it. It's potable. Delightful. Alyssa, what about you?
I don't really have any, I don't think. I tried to think of tropes or areas, and I can't think of any that annoy me.
Well, I guess you're just easygoing and perfect, aren't you?
I mean, I am easygoing. I'm definitely not perfect.
If it's too scary, I know you won't go near it.
What?
What's that?
If it's too scary, Melissa won't go near it.
No, I love horror.
Then why haven't you played Alien Isolation?
I will play it. It's just it's the fact that the xenomorph can like appear at any time.
So you don't like jump scares.
Jump scares always get me.
See, there we go.
I will scream at a jump scare, but I don't hate them. It's just I have to prepare myself ahead of time. But no, I'm a huge horror fan.
You need to play it. There's a lot.
I love Alien, the movie and all that. So yeah, I do need to play it.
I'm glad you said Alien and not Aliens.
They're both great.
I mean, yeah, I love Aliens as well.
I know you hate Jimmy.
I do. I really do.
Old Jimmy Cam, I call him.
Oh,
Jimmy Cam.
Get out.
Dude, I mean, I can understand like a James Cameron, but not like an Aliens. That's crazy talk.
Okay, hang on. There's actually one James Cameron film I liked. It was The Abyss.
Yeah, that makes sense. Water.
I haven't seen The Abyss.
The deep ocean.
Oh,
it's like space, but here.
It is good. But Aliens, how dare you ruin my favorite film?
Oh,
but
Lord.
You have the Ellen Ripley Funko where she's from Aliens.
That's because Sigourney Weaver is a saint.
That's true.
Couldn't I? Yeah. Very saintly in the finale of Alien as well. I certainly ascended to heaven. Alyssa, can you read our next comment here?
Drew Ross writes, in gaming, movies, and TV shows, when did it hit you that it was something more than just entertainment and you started to look at that hobby in a new light? What was the game, movie, and show?
Wow. Okay, don't already jump at once.
I mean, it's pretty easy for me. It was around when I was 4 or 5. Yeah, just because my uncle... I played my first game with my uncle. My uncle, like, he would record stuff on VHS tapes off the TV and, cartoons and stuff for me, and I would just watch them, and he just got me hooked on being a nerd, basically. So, I knew it wasn't just a hobby. Like, that was just kind of my life back then, and it kept being my life for up until now. So, the game was the original Tomb Raider. That was my first video game, and I played it a ton. Movie, it was, I would say, probably one of the original Disney movies. I don't know which one was my first, to be honest, because I think I got all of the classic Disney movies around the same time. But yeah, I definitely love the Disney princesses, and yeah, very, very formative for me. I'm sure my parents loved hearing me sing the songs over and over again. I'm sure that was delightful. But yeah, that introduced me to more films. And then TV shows. I'm gonna go with an AMA because my uncle got me started on it. Sailor Moon. He would tape those on VHS tapes. I would watch them, and I watched the entire series that way. And all the movies. So, my uncle is to blame for who I am today.
It's all just the problem. That darn Sailor Moon.
I know.
Taylor Moon.
Taylor Moon.
What about you, CB?
Oh man. So, well, for gaming, it was when my dad bought me my first Nintendo. Because it came with 2 cartridges, Galaga and The Legend of Zelda. And I've been collecting those darn pieces of plastic ever since.
Right, no one can stop you.
No. Movies, Godzilla vs. Megalon.
Right, that's true art,
Yeah.
I understand.
Man, the first time I saw that giant, stupid rubber suit, there's multiple Godzillas sitting behind me.
Yeah.
Right.
The king of monsters himself. He is my life. I love
the
him.
Godzilla movies as well.
Oh my
All
gosh.
hail Godzilla.
I've seen all of them to a ridiculous level.
I like that one where he fights the flower-looking dude.
Which flower-looking dude? Like the one
know,
that's like Biolante?
Biolante, yes, that is. Yes,
see?
that's one. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's funny because there's a Biolante right over here.
There you go. I like that one. That one's fun.
Yeah,
I know I made my uncle play the VHS tape that had Godzilla versus Mothra. Is it Godzilla versus Mothra or Mothra versus Godzilla? Always get mixed up.
Depending on where you bought it from, but there's Godzilla versus Mothra 1, 2, and then there's Mothra 1, 2, 3.
Anyway, whatever he got it off, whichever TV station he got it off of, I made us watch that movie so many times because I loved Mothra.
Mothra's great. She is the queen of the monsters.
Yes.
So, But yeah, definitely Godzilla for me. Just made me discover my love for kaiju, which then also became a love for anime and movies in general. As far as TV shows, here it comes, folks. Left field. House.
What a great show.
God, is the best show. Dr. House is my literal hero.
An interesting choice. Yeah, I guess he does give it to people straight, I suppose.
Yeah, that's how I like it. Give it to me straight. And I mean, come on, it's Sherlock Holmes in medicine. What could be better?
Right. Took me an embarrassing long to figure that out, but yeah, it sure is. I mean, his name is House.
I mean, this is a good elevator pitch because I've never seen the show.
Oh, it is.
It is Sherlock Holmes.
It is a fantastic show.
It is Holmes and Watson, or as the show calls them, House and Wilson, but as doctors.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
pretty
great.
With the H and W theme there, with the last
names. It gets even further.
Well, his apartment number is 221.
Okay.
And 221B.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if the B was there or not because that feels a little on the nose. But yeah, there's no doubt that the pitch when they walked into the Fox meeting room was, imagine Sherlock Holmes, but he's a doctor.
Oh yeah,
because he's a total D-bag to everybody, much like Holmes is as well.
Smarter than everybody, happens to have a narcotics addiction.
Yeah,
yes.
This is just
Yeah. There's no getting around it.
Berates all of his underlings. It's great.
Of course, yeah. He's smarter than everybody, and he knows it. And he's really proud of it.
Yeah.
Well, as for me, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Arrested Development, I think, might have been the TV show where I really learned that comedy was an art form. You know, where you could really see all the layers of the show, especially when you rewatch it. For video games, I don't know. It's kind of tricky because it's just always been core to me. But I think the first time I realized that video games were better at storytelling than anything else might have been Beyond Good and Evil. I want to say
I can believe that.
When I was like 11 or 12 when that game came out, and its focus on unraveling a conspiracy. I just remember thinking it was so cool as a kid that your objective wasn't saving the princess or, you know, killing the bad guy or getting revenge or whatever. It was about exposing the truth. You know, all the major objectives were about taking pictures, basically. And it was just kind of, and its interactivity made you feel like you were part of uncovering that truth. And even though I think the story has kind of aged poorly as the games industry has gotten more sophisticated at writing, but that was the first time I remember thinking like, oh, this is better storytelling than any other medium will accomplish. Like, that's when I kind of got all in on video game world crafting, I suppose. So that's that. And as for movies, I don't know, maybe The Matrix might have been the first time I really thought about the fact that movies try to say something.
The existential movie?
Right. Yeah. I think that's, and due to its existentialism, I think that might have been when I was really like, oh, movies aren't just fun sex comedies like my beloved American Pie, but they can also try to say something.
God.
And the fact that I watched those two movies when I'm 8 probably speaks a lot of my mother.
That just really, that just really dated my brain because you're like the teenage sex comedy and instantly my brain went to Porky's.
Oh no, you're not that old, are you?
I grew up in the 80s, so I mean, American Pie was high school for me almost. Yeah,
99.
Did I tell you guys I didn't watch an R-rated movie until I was 16?
I think I made it to 5.
No, and it was a self-imposed rule.
Really? What?
I don't know why. My parents didn't have to do anything. I policed myself. I was like, I can't watch this movie. They'd be like, you want to watch Little Miss Sunshine? We had it wasn't a Blockbuster, but it was called Movie Gallery. And I'm like, no, that's R-rated. And they're like, okay, stick back. What about Love Actually? That's R-rated.
Mom, I can't watch that.
My first R-rated movie was Into the Wild. And
okay.
Because I was really into Twilight then, and I wanted to watch more Kristen Stewart stuff.
Sparkles the Vampire?
I was 16, okay?
That's what finally let you cross the threshold with Kristen Stewart.
Oh, no.
And then I watched True Blood. It was a great transition
Well,
from watching the most wholesome stuff to...
That'll grow you right the hell up.
We just jumped. Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, what was your first R-rated movie, Zach?
Oh, my mom had no care or concern about R-rated, so from the moment... The very first movie I ever saw as a baby was her taking me to the theater to see Silence of the Lambs. So,
excellent.
So really, the first movie I ever technically saw was an R-rated movie.
Very nice.
Yeah, she did not care, which I think I appreciate overall. But it is just funny that it's funny that when my friends were watching Power Rangers to go to bed, I was watching American Pie.
Oh, I was the Power Rangers baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my first R-rated movie was either The Exorcist or RoboCop.
Do you remember how old you were?
I was young.
Yeah. I think it's okay. I think we turned out, I think Alyssa turned out better than us, so maybe...
I don't know.
Maybe there is something to it. I don't know.
I feel like I'm worse than you guys.
Ooh. Yeah. Come hang out in real life and then make that that assumption.
Come grow up in Rockford.
Yeah. Good. Come on. There's a reason we're in the 8th most dangerous city in the country.
You're goddamn right. We survived Rockford.
The streets.
CJ Moore writes in, so you're a video game developer. You just found out that your publisher kidnapped all of your friends and family and is holding them hostage, so you'll make them a video game for free and with no credit. What video game do you make to ensure it's a terrible video game and a total flop in order to sabotage your publisher but still get your friends and family back? What kind of terrible story, game mechanics, art style, voice actors, and platforms do you choose to help pull this off? P.S. Your publisher is kind of an idiot, but you still get to fool him into thinking your game's a good one.
Oh, I got this.
Me too.
Oh, you go first. Yeah, okay.
I would just make Marvel's Avengers. Thank you.
There you go. Voice actors, recast your voices.
Well, think about the voice cast in that game. Though.
It was terrible.
Nolan North, Laura Bailey.
But how it was done was terrible.
I know, but if you want to trick the publisher, you cast the best in the biz, and then you make them all do terrible voices, like that. I can't remember.
Or Straw Hair Thor.
Who did the Thor voice? Oh, what the hell is his name? Laura Bailey's husband,
Travis Willingham.
Travis Willingham, great voice actor. Terrible as Thor, but I'm confident he could do a good Thor. So I don't know who the voice director was in Avengers. It was no good. But I guess if I wasn't being a total dick about this answer, it would be Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. No, I'm just kidding.
Man,
it would
just running that train straight into the ground.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like the easy answer is to make some kind of live service game, though. What have you got up your sleeve, CB? You look devilish.
Ooh. Did you ever play the game My Name is Mayo?
No.
Oh. Do yourselves a favor. Go play My Name is Mayo.
It's that good, huh?
Imagine clicking a mayonnaise jar for 1,000 times.
That's the game?
That's the game.
Who's going to voice the mayonnaise jar?
I want Tommy Wiseau.
Yes.
But because My Name is Mayo has already been made, My Name is Pickle.
And you think this is going to trick your publisher and I think it's a good game, though?
I don't care. It says right here, my publisher is kind of an idiot, so he's just fooled into it. So
that's a big idiot. Yeah, that's a big idiot.
My game is going to be I'm a pickle. Voice actor's Tommy Wiseau, and you're just going to be clicking a pickle.
I would make a pretentious, artsy walking simulator. Hire top talent from Hollywood, like some big name, right? I don't know. You get a
Gerard Butler.
Big?
There you go.
Get Gerard Butler and Leonardo DiCaprio in some kind of gay romance story, because then it looks like an award baiting, right?
No, because that's already been done. Tropic Thunder. Remember the fake movie before with Tobey Maguire and Robert Downey Jr.?
Basically, just to make that into a game, but then also just like. You'd give them that pitch and they're like, that's a story. And they're like, oh, it's beautiful. We'll win awards, big names, people will buy it. But then it's just going to turn into like an alien invasion story 2/3 of the way through or something.
Oh, no. 30 seconds in.
I want to kind of trick people a little bit and then all of a sudden kaiju are popping out of the ocean and you're piloting a mech or something.
But see, that game sounds awesome.
Never mind. That sounds way too cool. Apologies. What am I thinking? Yeah, I don't know. They just get stranded on Mars and die of asphyxiation. Something lame happens at the end.
Oh, have you ever seen there's the Reddit post for like the guy that makes fake GameCube games?
No. Sounds fun.
Oh man, I'll have to say, there's one he actually made like a full, like he made the CD for it and the box art, and it's called A Very Far Away Horse. And it's literally just a picture of a horse on a box, and like would put it on his shelf, and it was a very, very far away horse.
Oh, you know what? I make this pretentious game, but then at the end, it just is horribly racist. It turns out they were KKK members the entire time. That'll get them bad press and a flop at the publisher.
Are you kidding me?
By then, I get my family back.
No, because here's the thing: that will give them bad press, but I guarantee you, everyone will buy that game to see. Like, we have to see this.
I heard Gerard Butler's in the KKK in this game.
The movie Green Room.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened. Like people
I guess I can't help myself, guys. I can only make good stuff.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm like, this has been done, and it was actually pretty successful.
I mean, Green Room was cool as hell. That was a great movie.
It was.
That was a hard turn for Patrick Stewart.
Yes, yeah.
I was like, that is so bizarre, Captain.
So he said,
Captain Picard, what happened?
He said, Wesley, make it so, and then curb stomp somebody.
Bite the curb.
Alyssa, what about you? How are you gonna get your family back?
I'd probably just make, video game adaptation of the movie The Room. Obviously, we'd have to retitle it because there is a game already called The Room. But just say, it's a narrative game about two friends living together and how they, go through turbulent emotional times, and then don't tell them it's a video game adaptation of The Room. And then they get it. And it's just Tommy Wiseau and his co-star's name that I just forgot, voicing their characters. And it's just like you're playing the movie.
Yeah.
You'll have a great time just making fun of it.
Oh, this really wants me... I want... Okay. Here's another pitch for you that I would love to do. Just see somebody do it. Make like a brand new Call of Duty style game. You get this intro, like high intensity action section, and then the game just glitches. And you promise like that day one patch and everything.
Well, it just never comes.
Well, no. The patch comes, but here's the kicker. So the game, you start playing the game again. It glitches for a second. And then somebody like Gilbert Godfrey sits down with like a white background and just blows raspberries at you for 16 hours.
And it turns out that's Frog Fractions 3.
Probably. But God, Frog Fractions, that damn game, I will never be.
Don't give it away. Alyssa hasn't played it. Don't say nothing.
I'm not, but man, math is great.
Math is great, and I love learning about the history of sports. God, that game's so good. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I think we've effectively tricked somebody here, right?
Oh, I think so. But I
almost feel like the Room game would trick more people if you, but told the story competently this time. So people think they're gonna get it for this like comedy thing, and then it's actually like just a really bad story.
Yeah,
just totally forgettable.
So on,
this isn't funny.
Pickle.
Yeah, this is nothing. I am Pickle. Yeah, my name is Pickle. Game of the year.
Gonna do it.
All
right. Brandon Lloyd writes in. Oh man, this is the last one. The sadness.
Second to last. We got one from Tim Thing.
I see it now. I see it.
Yeah.
So Brandon Lloyd writes in. Do you listen to video game podcasts more than actually playing games? Sometimes I feel that way, and it makes me sad. Adulting sucks, and I do love my kids, though. Haha. I hate to break it to you, Brandon, but I don't listen to any video game podcasts.
None at all, huh?
No. Mostly because I don't ever want to, unfortunately, copy someone.
Right, I understand that.
And don't get me wrong, I love my boys over at the EXP cast and everything, but I had the unfortunate experience of sitting in on a podcast for another show. I will not name who, but it was a terrible experience. It wasn't the EXP cast. It was another podcast. Yeah. I was embarrassed. So I choose not to listen to video game podcasts because I don't want to unfortunately copy someone else.
I think it's perfectly understandable.
Yeah.
You listen to any video game podcasts?
I do not. No, besides this one on the episodes I don't appear on because I don't want to listen to my voice. I just haven't. I can't concentrate when I listen to podcasts. And I think it's because in school they'd always have us read books, but they'd play the audiobook when we read. I just wanted to read. I didn't want to listen to the audiobook. So I'd already read everything, so I was having to read. Anyway, I think the audiobooks in school just ruined podcasts and audiobooks for me as an adult. So it's kind of hard for me to concentrate just on listening to something.
I can't believe they try to get you to listen to audiobooks. My school definitely wasn't trying that.
Oh yeah. My school, well, the 3 schools I went to all utilized audiobooks while we were reading. And I'm like, I just want to read. I don't need noise.
Yeah, that would slow me down. I feel so frustrated.
Any noise when I'm reading, I'm like, I'm reading.
Right. Yeah, that's terrible.
But yeah, I can't concentrate when I'm listening just to something that's audio only, really. So I just listen to you guys when I'm not on here. That's it.
Well, I guess we appreciate that.
You guess?
Well, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, we appreciate it. I like it when you're here more. That's all.
Oh, okay. That makes me feel better.
He likes you better than me.
I don't.
I like her more than most people. So.
Aw.
I love CB.
I love CB too.
I've referenced if you listened, you would know that I talk highly of you when you're gone.
I know. I've heard. I do listen to our stuff, but again, I don't have to worry about us copying us because we are us.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stand listening to my own voice either, so
it's
an out for the game.
Sound of my own voice.
I feel like I don't sound like what I think I sound like.
I don't either. Like the voice I hear in my head and the voice I hear when I speak does not match what I hear that's recorded.
So strange.
I'm like, no.
Oh, no, I know exactly what I sound like. I sound like a goober.
Kidding me? I mean, I always thought I sounded like Solid Snake, but it turns out I just sound like some guy.
I always sounded like I didn't have an accent, and then
I don't really think
I listen to stuff, and I'm like, oh, there's a Southern.
Oh no! It's for you. The Southern definitely comes out with the T's.
I think it's pretty slight, though.
Yeah,
I've taught myself.
You carry it well.
CB, you don't sound like a goober.
Oh, I sound like
you just sound like
you don't.
You sound like an excited guy.
I am just a large child. I know.
You love a lot of things.
I love that energy.
Hey, yes. Somebody's bringing it. I mean, somebody's got to be the big dumb kid. That's me.
We appreciate you. Yeah, but I'm with you guys. I don't listen to a lot of video game podcasts. I listen to the Video Game History Museum's podcast because that's a lot of the stuff in the past. And I listen to Quest Markers, which I love, and I'll be on soon. And outside of that, pretty much, I listen to Sacred Symbols, which is the Colin Moriarty's big PlayStation podcast, but that's also a news-focused show, and I always skip the What Have We Been Playing section because, like you guys, I don't want to get influenced or, I don't think I would intentionally ever plagiarize, but I don't want to unintentionally parrot something they said, and then it kind of comes across like I stole something,
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so I'm not crazy about that. I mean, I listen to a ton of podcasts, Brandon, like just a bunch, but I mostly listen to them while I'm at work. And if I'm doing side quests and games and stuff, I'll listen to a podcast. Except for Red Dead 2, which is just so good, but I haven't listened to a podcast even once.
I mean, to be fair, I do listen to a lot of podcasts. It's just not what you're thinking. Definitely.
My mind just went to a dark place there.
Definitely.
There are definitely some dark podcasts. So
laden with foreboding.
Definitely a lot of serial killer, true crime, but like dark, sometimes medical ones too. So
now I do have a lot of YouTube channels that go into like older, sort of more ephemeral video game releases, like stuff I've barely heard of. And I always like watching those videos. But then I do always get struck with the urge of like, I should play this for myself, but I know it's never going to happen because of adulting.
Yeah.
So I understand a little bit, Brandon, what you're saying, but yeah, can't do video podcasts.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because I would like to listen to some other people, but I don't like you said, I don't want to unfortunately parrot someone.
Right. Yeah, I used to listen to a ton before I did the Gaming Outsider. But
we just sucked the fun out of it for you.
That was many moons ago. Well, and all the sites lost all the people I cared about.
Well, I mean, IGN doesn't even do video game stuff really anymore.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the last person I couldn't tell you the last time I knew a writer over there. Other than Ryan McCaffrey, who's hanging in there. Which is hilarious. All right. But, the final question from Tim Thane. I've noticed in the past few episodes you've had many video game celebs do intros for your show. Do you seek these out individually, or were you lucky enough to go to a convention and meet a bunch of people at once? I think we just kind of accumulate these over time, right?
Well, a lot of them came from a friend.
Yeah, you're talking about a friend of the show.
A friend of the show. We won't mention her name because it gets mentioned quite a bit.
Well, yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she is. She's awesome.
Yeah,
there's a new one coming.
Yeah. From her?
No.
Her hookup? Oh, okay.
We met a video game voice actor who we had a lot of fun with at the Midwest Gaming Classic.
Oh man, we should try to find a way to get Rob Wythoff, the voice of John Marston, to do an intro.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I know how to make that happen. It's not cheap.
Well, yeah, I know he's on Cameo.
Yeah. I would actually love the voice of GLaDOS to do one for us.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah,
she's cool. What about you, Alyssa? Do you have anybody you wish would do an intro for us?
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Jonas Scott as a voice actor.
Okay.
He'd be great, or Ray Chase.
Ray Chase,
sure. Near himself.
Yes. Those are. I also really like Jerry Jewell, but I don't think he does video games a lot. He mostly does anime. Those are my favorite voice actors. So.
Understood.
Yeah.
We got Roger Clark, a little Arthur Morgan intro.
Yes.
All right.
He's great as well.
He's more expensive on Cameo.
Yeah. I've looked. But yeah, for me, like the voice of GLaDOS. I mean, I got my childhood hero already to do one, which was John. So
yeah, John St. John, voice of Duke.
That was fun.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I think we need to track down some more.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, if you guys ever want to just pitch in your money together and get me a birthday cameo from Juan Wythoff, you guys feel free. Just put that in your back pocket.
Talking about, I'll get you one from Yuri.
Yeah, he'd be great too. Just put it out
Yuri
there.
Lowenthal?
Okay.
Oh,
right.
Zack.
Prince of Persia. He already did an intro for us, so.
Oh, no. We need one personalized just for you,
Yeah,
Zack.
personalized.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. Well, I guess that does it, huh, for this week's episode of The Gaming Outsider. Right? That's the show. Looks like next week's topic, I can't believe Scott Clark actually managed to put an idea together, because he's got a little bit of the, what's the age thing going on. But his topic is, which video games deserve the animation treatment that Mario received? You can always write in on either Discord, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok with your thoughts, or you can dare say you could call us at 347-746-2278 or 3477-GO-CAST. Like I said, that does it for this episode of The Gaming Outsider. CB, Alyssa, thank you for being here.
I'm happy to be here.
It's always a hoot.
I love you guys.
Yeah, I like having you guys here. I don't feel like I'm no Scott Clark at the hosting game, but you guys make me feel more comfortable each time I try to do it.
Hey, so you know what? You're a fantastic job.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I wasn't necessarily fishing for compliments,
but you're getting
them in.
But
thank you.
I will give them for free anytime you want them.
All right. Do you have any parting thoughts with the audience, CB?
John Wick 4.
I want to see that so bad.
It was
that good?
Delicious. That's
delicious. Okay.
Oh, dude, I had a blast. There's a few surprises in that movie I did not see coming. There is one scene that I wish was removed entirely.
Oh, is it not good?
It left a bad taste in my mouth. Like,
okay.
I don't like If you see the trailer, there's the guy, like, he's a big, bulky dude with gold teeth.
Yeah, okay.
Just compared to the first 3 movies, his character sticks out like a sore thumb. It feels unneeded and unwarranted. I really wish it wasn't there. Donnie Yen's character. Oh my god. It was.
I heard he's great.
I mean, he's always
dude, like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about his character, because his character feels like a Last Ronin type character. Like,
yeah,
just,
I mean,
oof.
I rewatched John Wick 1 through 3 a week or two ago to catch up. So I'm all ready for John Wick 4. I just got to get to the theater.
Dude, you will be pleasantly surprised by, like, Donnie Yen's performance in this movie. And it's what, Bill Skarsgård?
Yes, he's in it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If there was ever a villain that you literally just wanted to punch in the face because he's such a just evil
bad man.
Oh, his character actually made me, like, angry. Like, I'm like, I hope you die.
That's good. I guess he did his job well. Then, huh?
It was. I'm like, just it was a semi-satisfying ending. So we'll see what happens if a 5 actually does occur.
What about you, Alyssa? Anything you want to share with the audience this week?
It took me, I think, 11 years, but I finally watched the cinematic masterpiece that's known as The Raid. It was fantastic. One of the best action movies I've ever seen. It is brutal.
Pretty high praise.
It is. It's brutal, but it's just every second just hold your attention the entire time. They never let off the gas pedal. It's just, if you're into action, I'd say watch it. It is it is Indonesian, so you do have to watch it with subtitles. But it's great, and I want to watch the second one now because that was so good.
You gotta watch The Lake.
The Lake?
Another Indonesian film, but it's kaiju.
Oh. I will put it on my list.
Gotta watch all the kaiju films.
All of them. Monsters.
Understood. Well, I guess I'll keep the movie recommendations going. I watched Air, the new Ben Affleck directed movie starring Matt Damon. Mm-hmm. Exceptional film. Just really great movie. Making, they don't make them like this anymore, where you get like a screenplay that somebody wrote and then they just put out a movie. You don't get that a lot. Pretty cool. Jason Bateman's great in it, of course. Matt Damon put on some pounds for it, which you always got to respect. Plays this middle-aged overweight guy, but I mean, Viola Davis is the star of the show, which she often is. But I mean, it's just a really great movie. I don't care about basketball, and I certainly don't care about shoes. But this movie about Nike securing the Air Jordan deal was riveting from start to finish. I really loved it a lot. I couldn't believe how good it was.
Well, I mean,
so Air.
It's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. I mean,
yeah, that's true. They usually do pretty well when they're together, and Ben Affleck has directed nothing but bangers. So,
for a Boston kid, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows how to make some cinema, huh?
Yeah,
I like them apples. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. This episode of The Gaming Outsider was produced by Kevin Honigford, and all of the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemage and Metroid Metal. StemageMusic.com is where you can find his work. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Until next week, I'm Zach Parkerson with Alyssa White and Chris Barenmeyer, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.